Welcome to Plat Chat, episode 250. 250, that is one quarter of 1,000 episodes. My name is TMV. I'm joined by Paperthin, Sliggy, Chobra. Will Plat Chat make it to episode 1,000? Yes or no?
I mean, it'll be late, but it'll get there. That's my prediction.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Well, how are you all? It's the first true week of VCT. It was busy, very busy. Sliggy, I know it started already. But was it good? Was it good to be back?
It was good, yeah. The only rough time was last night. Like last night in Americas, there was like an hour delay maybe after
a massive
almost
OT.
almost groundbreaking OT, almost smashing records. Didn't get there, but it still reached like 20s. It's kind of crazy. But other than that, it was lovely.
Paperthin, I mean, wearing your DFM jersey, we'll get to that later on. Obviously, mixed results for them, but overall, happy with where it's gone.
I'm happy with that. I had a weird thought that I just realized today. So this is gonna like please Achilleos, but so from when World War II ended to when I was born, from when I was born till now, there's been more time since from when I was born till now. Yep. I had that thought today and I just wanted to share it with you all.
Okay. That's
there you go.
Very, very interesting.
That's all I got.
Bit of a mind
That's all
blow.
I've got.
Oh.
Thank you for
Okay,
that.
well, thanks for that. let's get into the show. We got a lot to get into. I'm going to have to try and move us along at some point here because there is a lot of things to talk about. We're going to go through basically every team and how, their season has started. So, obviously, we're going to jump into Pacific, but just before we do that, we're going to first talk about how you can support the show, of course, and that's by becoming a member. We're on episode 250. 250 of these things have come out. So let's get 250 new members for 250 episodes. Let's do it right now.
Setting the bar.
Yeah, if anyone wants to give 250 members, now's your time to do it.
You should probably use your money a bit better, but
No. Give it to your favorite
Lofty
podcast.
goals.
Anyway, if you do become a member, you can join the Discord. Sometimes not necessarily us, but sometimes the NA guys, when they bother to show up, will run little tournaments and stuff as well. And you get to, of course, ask a member question. Our member question for this week comes from Aiden, who asked a very devious little question right off the rip. Very negative question. What team do you think is most likely to be in all 3 best of 5s and lose all 3?
That is
so. This requires a team to be in the uppers, obviously, and then fumble horrifically by losing 3 best of 5s. Chobra,
kind of crazy.
any thoughts?
Yo, can you
maybe
imagine?
The jersey, maybe the jacket that you're wearing right now.
Let me just be very clear. If Nongshim gets to an upper final, they're making it. So there's no way they're losing 3 in a row. They might be dropping down before that, but there's no way. I mean, honestly, I didn't think I had any feelings for a team like Full Sense, but you guys have made me realize my true feelings. So I've really come to this revelation that perhaps 3 days of the BO5s, I even wanted to go all 5 maps all 3 days, and then they lose out. Actually, someone in my chat actually had that prediction, which I thought was completely criminal.
In my Preds, I also have that prediction. So I guess
really?
that must be my answer. I had
really
full sense making it to the uppers and then losing.
That's jokes aside, I actually think within Pacific right now, I would say RQ actually seems. Oh, but they'd have to get there. Wait, never mind.
Yeah,
see, that's the thing. You need a team who's got to get to that first best of 5. So for someone like RQ, they're going to beat
Full
Paper
Sense,
X.
yeah.
They're going to beat Paper X. Whereas Full Sense, can Full Sense beat Nongshim and then lose to Paper X and then lose to, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
RQ, like whoever else, and then lose a third.
All right.
I could see it happening. I think Full Sense actually might be the answer.
Well, look at where the hate's coming from. You've been planning this all
I
along,
like Full Sense. I want
bidding
them to make it,
the
but
worst for them.
I'm worried for them because I think the Pacific has enough good teams to where they could lose.
All gamers are 1 away from a final.
All gamers are a good shout.
I might have to go with that.
All gamers. I'll give you some other shouts if you want as well. Maybe whoever wins NAVI or Gentle Mates, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Paperthin's he's sick of this question. I mean, he hates them. He's always telling us that.
That
Shyo, he hates the
picture
members.
is great. The Navi mates is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that would be
Oh,
that
man.
would be devastating for gentle
That would
mates.
be. Oh, if
Yeah.
gentle
Oh.
mates lost.
Like, imagine everyone's like, "Oh, they've broken the curse, right?" and then they get to
God,
the
yeah.
best of 5 and lose 3 best of 5.
They just get a new curse. That would
I
be
f-
very.
I
Oh,
think they would be
man.
fine if they win the next game. They would win one of those
Yeah?
best of 5s, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
One of them.
like
Back.
this doesn't have to happen. We can
No,
live in
no,
a
yeah.
positive world where a team doesn't lose 3 best
Yeah.
of 5s, and that probably will be the world we live in. But
Yeah.
I'm a bit worried for Full Sense. Please don't choke Full
Mhm.
Sense. Please.
I think if it
Yes.
happens anywhere, doesn't it happen in China just because of the
Yeah,
variants?
that's what we just said.
Yeah, that's what we were
Okay.
talking
Alright, I
about.
missed it. Yeah. That's
That
kind of
does
where I
seem a
think.
fair-
I kind of feel
fair
like
choice.
maybe Navi.
See,
I'm
there
kind of
you
worried
go.
about them. Like when you get lower into that bracket and FNATIC and Heretics figure their crap out, then I don't know.
What about
Oh.
Furia?
Furia got to make it.
They got to
get
beat
there.
They
G2.
got to beat G2.
Yeah.
I think that's the hit.
A
If
big
Furia
punch up
beat
on
G2
G2
if
off
Furia
the
can beat
momentum.
G2, I
And
mean, maybe they are
then-
just.
That's their limit. And then G2 comes back strong in one of the lower brackets.
It's not the worst take. It's definitely not the worst.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could happen. It could, and that
Yeah.
as well would be devastating. God, imagine
It would-
Furia, who've
oh.
never been to an
Oh,
international,
man.
by the way. They they start off kickoff with no expectation, get to the upper final, and then lose 3 best of 5s. That would be devastating. Anyway, let's get to the main part of the show. Let's get to the meat and potatoes, because again, we do have a lot to get to. So we're just gonna start off with Pacific, of course, and go through kind of the teams and how they did. Obviously, some teams have played 2 games, some teams have played 1 game. We're gonna start off with Chobra, your Nongshim RedForce. There you are in the jacket, and for Nongshim, well, it's looking good. Here we go. Not only a win against Team Secret, which I think most people would have had, probably Nongshim beating Team Secret. That was whatever. But then beating T1, Chobra, are you daring to dream?
Oh, yeah, because I had them losing to T1.
I think it was
Okay.
I had us losing to T1. I had us losing to T1 2-0. And then we won 2-1. So I might as well dream now. I got nothing to lose. I mean, they've already exceeded my expectations greatly. But I also think what I saw, whether it's talking to them, like in the interview right after or after the match in the team room, the way they talk about the game, the goods and the bads, the way the coaches were talking about the game, I do think it looks promising. And when Francis told me that they were going to make it in first seed, I can see that it wasn't just faith. Like it wasn't just like hype up, but like they actually believe. And obviously most players, that's the goal. But I asked Ivy as well. He was like, oh, no, we actually, all of us firmly believe we are very capable of going out or going up in first seed. And I think they showed it. Because the big problem they had last year against some of the stronger teams was you come in with good ideas. It's just a typical thing of you had good prep and then they adjust and you don't know how to adjust back, right? And then you kind of crumble in the later parts. It happened against T1, it happened against DRX, even Gen.G once. So the fact that they could bounce back like after a map loss or once T1 started to try to bring things back, one or 2 rounds, I think was very promising. And then also the fact that in some of the comms, so they show the Korean comms on the Korean broadcast and then only the English team comms on the English broadcast.
Yeah.
Just like super calm and clean comms, right? Everybody chipping in, no one panicking, none of the crazy like I'm going in, like we're gonna just throw this round and whatever and all that stuff. So so things like that. Well, they say they're gonna throw Dombey in.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
there's definitely some throwing, but it's not the type that we normally speak about.
Well,
Dude,
Sliggy, I've got a question for you as
Go
well
on,
about
go
this.
on,
So Nongshim are playing they're playing a very distinct style, I would say. Right?
Yeah.
They're playing their style. A lot of
For sure.
neon, just throwing down beyond neon. What do you think about early in the season, like kickoff? No one really knows exactly what anyone's gonna do. No one knows what maps you're good at. Like, do you think that is something more teams should be doing, like Nongshim, just leaning into their own stuff? Or do you think like certain teams it just doesn't that won't work? You got to play a certain amount of meta.
I mean, if it makes sense, then yeah. I think some of the teams that are leaning into some of the other stuff, it's like I get the vision, but it doesn't. With Nongshim, it really leans into a lot of their like win conditions and what their players are good at. Like you're leaning into, you got a top 3 neon in the world on your team, and you're leaning into a neon that creates a lot of space, and then you've got Francis who just cleans everything up. So if it makes sense, within your team and it plays to your advantages. Like I think for sure, like we're seeing some teams run like Sage at the moment. You don't get practice against like Sage comps and stuff like that. So as much of it you can theorize like how to play against it when it comes into the server, you very hard to actually like get the set practice. So I think with Nongshim, they got their own set way of doing it. A little double duelist. Francis just making sure they never get ecoed. I think they may have got ecoed once so far out of everything. He's very good with the outlaw man, just using the martial outlaw to send him in, and then everything's just ready to just go off of his contact. And Danby, dude, we need a metric for Space Made, man. This guy, you can't look at the score. You can't look at the score. You gotta look at Space Made, and the Space Made is probably the most I've ever seen out of any player. Insane to watch him. He's so good on this Neon, and it just works so well. At the moment when you're playing double duelist as well, I would think that some teams are a bit too methodical. I like to like a Furia, but maybe not like a Envy, but maybe not as extreme. I like to descend it sometimes. I think if you're playing double duelist, you gotta play double duelist, you gotta double dive, you gotta send it in. So I like that they just lean on that all the time. Danby is incredible to watch, and he's so fearless, and he just does some of the maddest shit, especially with the shotgun, bro. He's entering with the shotguns all the time, and it's just like, even if he gets killed going in, their crosshairs are literally the opposite way to where everyone else is running for a choke, so they just have the best time getting for a choke. So I like watching this team as well, man. It's been really fun. It's been really fun, and they're smart. They're not like not like they're dumb. They actually seem very good on a lot of maps, and they're pretty drilled.
And paved into you, what I want to ask is like about Francis, because I think Francis obviously had a bit of a different role, certainly back in the past for this team, and probably for people who aren't that aware of Nongshim, they might know of Danby because he was doing crazy things in Ascension and stuff like on the Neon, but Francis and going into double duelist, like he's been like insane. Like as someone who made the VFL prices, as soon as like I saw the first game, I was like, I'm deeply underpriced Francis. What am I doing? Like, what have I done?
You did.
He's so consistent. He's just so reliable. No matter the situation you put him in, he's just doing a great job. His utility's good. He understands his role really well within the team, which is either that backup sniper or kind of the follow-up entry behind Danby. Like it's just really well drilled, and on top of being an incredibly sharp shooter, like when it came to like who I thought I would want to put into the skirmishes for Nongshim, my first thought was Francis, just because he's so reliable. Like he is unbelievably talented in terms of his ability to be in the right place at the right time, have his crosshair at the right place at the right time. I think I love Francis a lot. I think Ivy deserves a lot of credit here. Well, he's playing really, really well on the back lines, doing a good job watching for the lurks, watching for the flanks, doing all the things you need to do. I think overall for me, for Nongshim, I think it's two things. One, the meta suits what they're doing, because there isn't a lot of, in Pacific at least, a lot of agents that people are running that are going to shut the Neon down that well. But as well, they're playing to their strengths, which is something that I think some other teams aren't doing as well in terms of who they're putting where and on what agents and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Well, as I say, we got a lot to get to, so I'm gonna try and keep us going here as much as we can. Sorry, Chobra, I'm sure you could stay here for an hour and glaze your team.
Yeah, I could talk about Yeoman wanting to give feedback right after the match, winning against T1. I could talk about Francis, how confident it was Danby.
Okay, well, I'm gonna stop you right there.
But anyway,
I'm gonna stop you right there. We're gonna move to T1, the team that they beat in their second game, and this was, maybe not the biggest shock of the entire thing, but it was a pretty big shock. I think a lot of people would have had, Chobra himself had T1 winning. So let's talk about the T1 side of this, where we get another T1 documentary after the loss to Nongshim. Hopefully not. That would be cinema if they did. But someone tell me what was the main problem we saw for T1? Because when we saw them in the offseason, I actually thought, they looked pretty good in some of the offseason games that they played. So what went wrong?
Well, Meteor wanted to stop playing Viper on Corrode, and he got his wish and got to play the Waylay. And it didn't look great.
The classic
did not.
Sentinel playing Waylay, not looking
yeah,
great.
I mean, he
multiple teams do this.
Yeah, he used to be a duelist though, so I'll give him that. But obviously, so for those who don't know, the previous documentary at SVL is where that came out, where Meteor was talking about like, I just don't think the Viper's good. I don't want to play it anymore on Corrode. He says something along those lines, and then voila, this is what they come up with, and the comp itself is fine. It's just that they didn't seem to have as much drilled into it. Like the ideas seemed to be very, very one-dimensional. It also felt like Munchkin I thought they were just kind of being humble when Meteor in the pre-press conference talked about how like, well, sometimes Munchkin, we're not able to really follow along Munchkin's calls. And I thought that was just like different styles, like it still kind of happens. But it did seem like Munchkin was also just kind of tilting away and doing his own thing a lot of times, just being like, fine, I'll do it myself, like he used to be able to in the prime Gen.G. And then, like you guys said, like Domby just runs past him, and then he's like, at most I get one, and then it just shuts down. So they do seem to be on a little bit of a disconnect still.
Yeah, I think there's a learning curve at the moment for sure. It's kind of funny the Munchkin came over. They try and play the Haven comp, and even like there's so much that goes into the Gen.G Haven comp. It's like they don't have everything down at all. And in theory, they're playing their comfortable roles, right? There's loads of people at the moment saying that people don't look comfy on certain roles and they should switch back. Well, you got to look at the Haven and be like, oh, maybe that's not going to work so well. As much as I agree with Meteor not looking good on the Waylay, but yeah, dude, I don't know, man. It just looks a little uncomfy. I find Buzz not using an op all the time just really weird for me. I always view that as like a big win condition on certain maps, especially like Haven, in my opinion. So I think when he doesn't like prioritize an op that much, I start worrying. But dude, I was as soon as I saw their Haven and I just watched like some of their B retake stuff, I was like, oh boy, they don't really like, they haven't got everything down. Like I'm watching Ezo and Smokes just mess everything up, and I'm like, oh mate, we haven't got this down, bro. Like Munchkin hasn't got everyone up to date on everything that needs to go into this. I think we're maybe a little bit more down on them just because of how good Nongshim looked as well. Like it wasn't great, but I don't think it was like so bad that I'm insanely worried about them. I think they should still qualify, but it's got to be a lot cleaner. Like it has to be a lot cleaner for sure.
Yeah, I just felt like the one thing like that really stuck out to me was before the match started, they had the coach on before on the English stream, and he was talking about how like the one thing that they needed to do was stop Domby. They couldn't really do that. Like their plan for it on Split was to throw shotguns at him, like fight fire with fire, right? And then after that, on the next two maps on Haven and Corrode, it didn't feel like they really had the answer. People have talked about it before. KJ is not going to slow down a Neon, like, so Meteor's getting run all over. And just the whole thing just looked like after Split, they didn't have those follow-up plans to deal with the Neon, and that caused a cascade of problems on top of what Sliggy's talking about, where it just didn't look clean either.
Yeah.
Okay. Quick question for you all then. Worry levels out of 10 for T1. How worried should we be? How worried should the T1 fans be?
I'm at a 5, like somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3, like in comparison to my previous expectation of they'll still make it.
Doesn't care. He's like, oh, they.
I mean, Nongshim was just too good. Nongshim was just too good.
They wouldn't even favor the game with the Jova. They lost the game they were meant to lose.
What could a measly team like T1 and a measly IGL like Munchkin possibly do against the greats like RB and Domby? I mean, what are you gonna do? It's not much.
Very true.
The RB as well plays a really good Omen. I just gotta throw that out there. He's really good.
Can I show a clip just of
you
what
can
I was
pop off,
about?
Sliggy. Let's see
nice.
some.
I got a clip of how you don't and how you do retake B, and it's all in the same game, so it worked out pretty well. We got the T1 one fast, and all we have to do is just. There's a good thing about the Viper comp and how they play the Viper comp is they always have a wall that goes over towards front B, and what you're meant to do is that's like. That goes up, and that's your wave of going into B itself, and then you can save the smoke for the spike, right? And then you fight in front of the spike. Dude, Izu throws down his only smoke where the Viper wall is. So it's like they have the Viper wall up and their smoke, and then now once this smoke goes down, they just don't have anything to cover the spike, and then they're just completely. He's gonna get completely wrecked here. You meant to smoke a little bit of the spike, tap the spike. Either hold it, or when they start spamming, you then all duel, or you're dueling out already, and they're obviously trying to kill you at the same time as trying to stop the diffuser. So this kind of just really worried me. Like just seeing it's just like, oh man, it shouldn't be like this. And then I think the other one that I gave you as well is how Nongshim do it right, and they've only got one smoker. They've only got one smoker as well. So you just see how good it is with the pressure of actually tapping the spike. They do this very well. They tap the spike and then they go heavy out of garage as people are trying to spam the pass and defusing. So this is just a best example in the same game of they use Neon Wall to get into the site here and split it up for the first little retake. They get over towards the site, create a bit of pressure over towards garage, but then the main thing is over towards the site, smoke on the spike, tap the spike, and then push through garage like this. As everyone else is like trying to spam a potential diffuser, they're going through garage and just overwhelming them. So this is just what you meant to do over towards B. It's just rough to see it from T1 when Munchkin is like, in theory, the brains behind the Viper comp.
And especially, on Haven, especially, like, when they went map 1, it's like map 2 Haven, T1 pick, it's like, oh, this game's getting probably wrapped with Munchkin in it. But it was anything but, and Nongshim managed to upset T1. Who did T1 play next? Who's their game against? That game is against Gen.G. Oh, so that's going to be a banger. So that will be a banger game. That one of those teams going straight to the lowers, so that will certainly be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, let's depress ourselves, shall we? And talk about ZETA Division.
Too
It's
late.
a shame. I mean, Minnie is here later on the show. We can maybe grill him a little bit, Sliggy, about that as well. But let's talk about ZETA Division, who I don't even know what words to say here. Like, they just got obliterated. As the resident Japanese Valorant fan, Paper Thin.
Yeah.
What happened?
First half of Corrode gave me some hope that they maybe had some ideas. Like, I thought there were a couple moments where they were reading the map pretty decently, had some cool thoughts on things, like some good timings with trying to make some coordinated explosive plays at chokes to shut some of the players down that are going to be near that choke and things like that. But after that, it was just clear like they just couldn't match pound for pound. I mean, Primmy's turning their flashes on these exploding plays they have, and he just gets a 4K out of it and stuff like that. Like, they're just not ready for what other teams are going to be throwing at them in response to what they want to do, because they just don't have the same level of skill. Like, they just frankly just don't. I don't know what else to say right now. You lose, your best player in depth, and Sugar Zero's coming out there as an IGL for the first time. It looks pretty rough from his department, except for, again, the first half of Corrode I thought was okay, and after that it was just not great.
Yeah, it feels like one of those teams that every game we might just be going, it's an aim diff. Like, they're like, really, the only person who could kind of aim was Echo on like a similar level where he had a couple of rounds, but then he's also, for every round he does good, he's also overheating and losing rounds, like pretty much equally. So it's it feels like he has to do it all, and honestly, from what I'm watching, that might be true. So it's going to be a rough year, man. I agree with Paperfin. I don't think they can go pound for pound aim wise with a lot of teams. But it's probably, this is like, looks pretty drastic because, I mean, Full Sense is one of the better aiming teams, but I would say most teams in Pacific at the moment have crazy firepower. So it's gonna be a rough year.
Gonna be rough. Anything to add, Chobra?
No, I mean, I just feel bad because even the one silver lining is eco, right? For the Japanese fans, like the fact that the one silver lining you seem to have is the Korean player, like that just hurts. Like, just given, what they're kind of hoping for. Now, obviously, we'll get to a different team where maybe you do have a little bit more hope, but I think that's a shame because I think there was a lot of hype still around Shota coming back and things like that. But I agree with Sliggy. Full Sense, when it comes to a pure mechanical battle, that's always hard to gauge because they should be near the type when it comes to mechanics. So we'll see how ZETA looks against other teams.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that team that they played against then. Full Sense, Chobra's nemesis. Because Full Sense,
I don't know.
They started off extremely well against ZETA Division, and then they played against DRX, and DRX was going to obviously be a pretty tough challenge, and Primmy decided now was the time to reveal himself as the second coming of Jesus, and partly carry. Full Sense were good as a team, but I mean, Primmy was unbelievable in this DRX game. He got how many kills was it? 4 kills off breaking the record, something like that.
Yeah, 4. I think it was
4.
79.
3 to tie, and then 4.
Yeah. So I mean, he just had an unbelievable game overall. Plus 41 in the entire series is just kind of unbelievable. And remember, to break the best 3 kill record. Like, there's not even like there's a 13-10, 13-8, 13-8. It wasn't like there was a 20. It wasn't like the C9 Envy game where it's a 20.
Kilios and I were literally just begging DRX to win a few more rounds to get him to break their record. We're like, please, just a few more. Let him do it.
It was truly unbelievable. But I mean, yeah, let's start with Primi though. Let's just glaze Primi. Chobra glaze Primi.
Oh, I mean, I agree. He looked like the second coming of Jesus. This dude was in absolute prime mode. And I will also say that it was good to see that he wasn't backing out of fights like he did sometimes last year. Like, he was playing with the full confidence that if he falls, which he rarely did, at least not after, at least getting 1 kill, that someone was going to trade him. And what I was impressed with, especially what I think they did better than I thought they would at the beginning of the year, is the fact that they were super thorough throughout the entire best of 3, like checking corners for Primi, setting up crossfires ahead of time for Primi. And I'm not saying that they're like waiting for Primi to carry them. It's just that's your win condition. You play around that. The other guys are good enough to play those other roles of trades and, going for making space a little bit. And then Primi was just farming. I mean, insane shots. Like, you could pick any round and you probably get a highlight throughout this entire best of 3.
Yeah, he's so good. And I think you have to also shout out Ty a little bit as well, because he is being the fearless duelist guy and send it in. Like, at the moment, there's always one duelist that is going to take a bit of a hit because they're like
sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, it's like we said for Danby, right? It's the space made stuff. You got to make the space so that they draw the crosshairs away. But man, it's so nice seeing this guy on a duelist, bro. It's so nice. He's so good. Like, mechanically, aim-wise, it's so fast. Like, it looks horrible to play against. Like, it looks like when I watch Donk in CS, just insta. Like, you just watch the POVs of the people he's killing. It's like, how are you meant to play against this? So it's gonna be so fun to watch him this year. That's all I was thinking about. I was like, we get a whole year of this guy on like secondary duelist, and he's just got so much confidence. And I think just the whole team's doing well as well. If you just look at like what Cruz has done, they're very drilled. They're very good with ults. Their plans are good. They're snowballing well. Jip Boy's is making like good mid-round calls as well. He looks comfy. Like, I think that they're doing wonders. I thought it might take a little bit of time. I'm pretty on board, man. Like, I think it looks really good.
Okay, that's good. I mean, yeah, that was gonna be kind of my next question is like, let's move away from Primi kind of to the rest of the team. If then are you on board as well? You like kind of the outside of Primi, the whole thing?
Yep. I have them going to Santiago in my pick'ems. I believed in this team ahead of the event just because
Not all of us did, but okay.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the firepower on this team is so good. I think, Cruz might have overcooked a little bit on the Breeze comp with the Vice stuff. But when you're just got so many players that are so individually talented in the First Blood department, a lot of people might have missed this, but Kilo was playing out of his mind, had a ton of great rounds. When maybe Primi wasn't going to be able to get you one of his 24 multi-kill rounds in that match, Killua also could step up to the plate and do some serious damage. And Ty, yeah, great. All these players are really, really good. Jit seems to be getting more and more comfortable as these matches go along with the play calling, with kind of like getting his pieces into place the way he wants to do things. So really just this team, I think sky's the limit for them. The more they play, the better they should get, and even with like a rookie coach and a rookie IGL, and they're already looking like this, man, oh man, like just we hope that in a couple months, this team is maybe the best in Pacific, I think.
Damn.
Wow, that would be very, very big. So, I mean, I know your answer to this, but just quickly, one word answer. Will Full Sense make it to Santiago? Yes or no?
Yep. Yes.
Liggy?
I got a longer answer.
Oh,
You want a longer answer?
You could go
He
on.
said one word.
Yeah, I know, but I'm breaking the rules because I've heard there's a convoy of tuk-tuks that are already heading to Santiago, and apparently it is tuck by tuck right now. And they're just building up the group and just seeing how far they can get. So, unbelievable, man. Tuck by
Okay.
tuck.
Chobra, you on the train yet? Oh, sorry, you on the tuk-tuk yet?
Oh, well, the tuk-tuk's pretty cramped. We're going to need a lot of tuk-tuks
Yeah,
if we're going to get everybody on board.
Get in a
It's cheap.
Yeah. I think it's very possible.
No. Okay. That's
Real
not
quick,
true.
real quick,
That's not
by
true.
the way, I want to
No,
drop a
no,
stat in here. Primi went plus 13 against Hyunmin in that series.
Oh, wow.
I-
Against DRX.
yeah,
Against DRX.
I do also want to note, not that I think this is the reason, but some of the fans, both on English and Korea, were also asking, like, why does Hyunmin look so pissed the entire match? And he was like, oh, I'm actually sick. So he was sick, but I think Primi still would have diffed him that day. But,
Sure.
you know, maybe Hyunmin would have
Yeah.
gotten 1 or 2 more, you know, frags here and there. So just a note.
Let's talk about DRX. We've already kind of done it. So let's move on to DRX, because DRX were a bit of a tougher team, I think, to figure out, in terms of, you know, obviously they had the recent change with Flashback, and I didn't know that Hyunmin was ill, but I was going to open with that essentially this was, I mean, the worst game I can remember him playing. I mean, certainly stats-wise, it doesn't look great, right? He's minus 25. You know, it wasn't a great game for him.
Yeah.
So I think let's look ahead, right? Like, okay, they lost to Full Sense. We all agree Full Sense are pretty good, apart from maybe Chobra. But we all agree Full Sense are pretty good. Hyunmin's ill. He won't be ill, hopefully, for the next game. And you know, we've got Hermes in there now. Do we still have faith in DRX from what we saw, or are there like concerns here? Like, ooh, actually, this is a little bit worrying.
Oh, really? I didn't feel that bad about it.
Okay.
It
You
was
just
one
thought
of
it was
those
Primi.
games.
You lost to a
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
It was one of those games where it's just like, he's playing too good, man. They can't win. Like, I was just watching thinking, the DRX aren't going to beat this guy. He looks too good. He's not gonna lose today. I actually thought DRX looked better than what I thought they would look. So I don't know if that's I don't know if that's my expectations being low because of the last-ish minute change, but I don't know. I'm not that worried.
Okay.
Well,
I think
I'm kind of worried because everyone else in Pacific's good, but I wasn't worried by like their gameplay.
Right. I would agree. I basically put them in the same zone as T1 of like they should still be able to. It might just come down to like a matchup or two and things like that. I was impressed by the fact that Hermes seemed confident enough and fragging when, you know, he was given the chances, that he wasn't kind of shying away or waiting for certain calls. Now, that created some desync across the team and things like that. And of course, against someone like Primi, none of them were really winning consistently. But I was very happy to see that they weren't shying away from that. Maybe they were just making him comfy, like, do your thing, make the calls, we'll kind of follow you for this tournament. But I think it's promising for the year, and then I think it's still doable for Kickoff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, you know, Freeing is looking much more back to what we saw in Kickoff last year.
Maybe he's just a Kickoff player.
He could be. He could
Yeah.
be one of those players. Yeah.
FNATIC's got to sign him, man. FNATIC's got to sign Free.
But yeah, Mako looked great. I mean, Mako looked unleashed. Like, now that he's not IGLing, he's just back to his old, just being an absolute menace in the server. Hermes started out good, kind of fell off as the match went on. You know, Bane, again, rookie IGL, or not rookie, but, you know, new again to IGLing, so maybe there's some jitters there. But with the coaching staff they have, I don't think it'll be too long before this is a pretty well-oiled machine, as the DRX we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel a lot better now you said that Hyunmin was sick as well.
Yes.
Me too.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that I mean, yeah, we're not expecting that from Hyunmin the rest of the season. I mean, he proved himself last year that
It's just an off game for sure.
yeah, he's gonna be pretty good. And so if he does continue like that, and hopefully they don't play against someone going plus 41 against them every game, they'll probably be all right. But you know, but their next game is against VARREL. I mean, we'll see what we've picked in that game. But let's move on to our next team. And speaking of like some hope for the future, I mean, this is prime hope for the future. Fans who have never had any hope maybe finally have found some hope, because Global Esports, yes, they went 1-1. They lost to Paper Rex. They're into the middle round. But they challenged Paper Rex pretty well. And in their first game against VARREL, they looked like clearly the better team, in my opinion. So let's talk about Global Esports. And again, similar to Nongshim, actually, let's take this angle first. They too have gone in their own complete different direction for really most other teams. They're playing a ton of Veto. They're playing a ton of solo Yoru as well, not double duelist. What do we think of the Veto? What do we think of, you know, going in that direction? Is this a good direction? Do you like it? And are we excited for Global Esports to finally maybe be good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes to all of it.
What do you mean
Yes, to them.
finally maybe? They're already good. These guys,
Oh,
you
there you
guys give
go.
me so much shit for hating on Full Sense. I'm out here freaking vouching for these guys since the beginning of the year.
Yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
like, no, don't curse us. Don't curse GE. They've been through so much. Please save us, Chobra. Please leave us alone. And these guys come out and just crash everybody's party. And I don't get any credit for it. This is ridiculous, man. They looked great. And I think the fact that they did it on their own terms with the veto is amazing. The veto looked good. I personally think this was the best veto I've seen. Granted, I haven't seen every match, so if you guys want to correct me in another region, I'm down to check it out. But both Yudo and how the team played around it, especially on attack, they looked good. They had such good plans for the veto on the attacking side.
I think you're celebrating too early, Joe, bro. They've
man.
only beaten a team who plays Harbor. Come on now. let's not get too crazy, man. Let's not get too crazy.
Hey, man, they put up an amazing fight in the next match too. Come on, you got to give them credit on that.
No, they did look good. I think like if you're just doing a side-by-side fundamental check as well, like spacing and stuff like that, and like actually fighting together, they looked and were a little bit sharper than Paper X for sure. It's just one of the, I mean, Paper X is so stacked that the individuals are just going to kind of take you over the line, even when that stuff isn't up to scratch. And like if you look team by team, I think they looked better than Paper X, really, to be honest, in that game. It's just an individual diff. But if you look at like ult usage, just trading, spacing, they were better. So yeah, they definitely could have won this, man. It was a very fun game. It was a very, very fun game. I think going on, you asked about the veto. I think the veto looked good, but I also think they played the two most aggressive defensive teams. So on attack, I can't imagine the veto would look as good as we've seen in these two games. But obviously, it looked great for the teams they were playing up against. If we're going by the whole Frost picks comps based on the teams he's playing, this was like a great, perfect example. Other teams that kind of turtle up a bit, hold the chokes, and then the solo Euro maybe becomes a little bit harder. That's what I'm excited to watch. They played two teams now, especially when you look at their split comp. This should be a very hard comp to like Execon, and they're playing teams that want to fight them. So I'm excited when they play a team that doesn't want to fight them, like how fast they have to take space and how the solo Euro looks, because yeah, I think they're getting a lot of value from the attack veto because they're getting aggressed on a lot, like on the attack. So
you might have to wait an extra game because they're playing Zeta Division next, who might not want to fight them, but also might not
yeah,
doing so.
That's true. Yeah, but at least like the game plan can be nice. Yeah, the game plan can be nice from Zeta. They could at least, you would imagine with Mini there, they would at least have a decent game plan for that. So we'll see.
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me was a lot of the veto stuff was clearly targeted at Raid. And so like so much of it was just shutting Jing out of the rounds, you know, like not letting him kind of play his normal game. So that really threw Paper X off balance on Split in particular. Like every one of those interceptors right where it needed to be to shut down a showstopper. Just absolutely.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, was it like 3 out of 3 at one point? Wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was 3 out of 3.
It was like
more. Yeah.
It
I
might
think it
have
was
been
4 out
for
of
4.
5.
Yeah.
I think
it
it was
was
4 out of 5. He got
in a
one
row.
Razor off, I'm pretty sure. out of the two
crazy.
maps, which is
insane.
really, really cool. It's definitely the best interceptor value that we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a couple of rounds, or maybe just one round, where it got like Viper smoke and stuff like that as well. So again,
This is a
in terms
great
of
round to
just
pull up as
veto,
well. This was just this round. I was popping off the
Pat.
Batman Revenge
This
round
was-
with this
Oh
sheriff,
my
where he's just
gosh.
taking 1v1s against his
Bro,
old teammates.
he had a
dipping them.
performance though. Like he had such a performance. It's one, dude. It's so fun watching players play against like teams that have kicked them and stuff, because it's such a revenge match, and you love it when the player like rises to the opportunity. And this was such a good example.
Yeah, he's so locked in, he doesn't even celebrate. Like, he's like, I'm winning this map. Like,
yeah.
you could see that. You could feel the energy. It was so good.
But he was reading Paper X so well, like finding so many great lurks to backstab them, like on Split when he's playing the Viper and stuff. Like, he was just so dialed in. He wanted that so bad. You could hear it in the comms, since we're interjecting a lot of the, when we have the English-speaking teams, we're throwing their voices on, like in the middle of rounds and stuff in Pacific this year. So we heard him say, like, calling out, like, I think they're going to do this next round. Let's play for this and stuff like that. So, like, you know, obviously trying to bring that knowledge into just a couple real quick things I want to say about GE. One, they're winning rounds they shouldn't, which is the sign of a really good team, like where they're taking rounds that they have no business winning and turning them around. and then getting those big, 3v4, 3v5 wins, stuff like that. The other thing is I thought they had great awareness of their flanks, great awareness of like the situation, what they were looking at. Like every time it felt like a team tried to do something a little bit unorthodox or try to come at them from a different angle, they seemed pretty well prepared for it. To me, this is like all the signs of a really good team, like a team that has everything kind of put together already in place. So I think the sky's the limit. Love what they're doing with Vito. Love some of the cheeky TPs they're doing with Vito, something that probably didn't necessarily go notice. Like they had that one, it didn't work out, but they TP'd into Alley on bind on B, like while the Cosmic Divide was up. That almost like won them around. They had no business winning and stuff like that. So really good stuff they've got going.
They also probably using the attack trip as a projectile more than
That-
other teams.
Yes.
Sure.
Yep.
The-
Yes.
The thing you should check it out. I have a video up about it, but I think the biggest thing is the fact that Valorant.
We're just gonna let him get away with that one.
Who's stopping me? Who's stopping me? But I think something that I think we kind of got too used to was the fact that Valorant is one of the only attack FPSs where you start in the middle of the map because of the barriers, right? You don't start in spawn,
Yeah.
and that's why it's so different. But by being able to throw it off the rip, off the barrier into an area that they're trying to clear early, you basically extend that. You extend your barrier much further in, and that really changes the tempo on the attacking side. And I loved that they were doing that more times. And then sometimes he would still cover his flank. So now the defenders like can't rely on where the trip is. So it was really, really good prep.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, GE fans, finally, you might have a team that can actually do some damage. Is anyone going to stick their neck out and say that this team is actually going to make it? Is anyone that high on this team?
Santiago.
Wow.
Yep.
Maybe.
I'm doing it.
Wow.
Maybe
Get ready,
T1 is
G fans.
actually
Time to find
shambles.
out. Time to find out if your team's
Oh,
strong
boy.
enough or not, man.
He's
This
not
is
the
a
guy
skill
you
check.
want.
This is a DPS check against the raid boss of Pacific, baby. Welcome to the final boss. Let's see if you can make it.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll all be talking about next week's shock result when Zeta beat Global then. So let's move on to talk about their opponents in their second game, Paper Rex. And honestly, I don't even know if there is that much to say about Paper Rex, because I agree with you, Sliggy. I thought this was actually kind of a bad game by like what I was expecting from Paper Rex. Like they weren't amazing,
Yeah.
but they're just good enough to still win because it's Paper Rex.
It was one of those when you're in a team, we used to call this like just like a free lesson. It's just a free win. You got the win, but you kind of didn't deserve the win. But there's so much like in the VOD footage when you watch it back of just lessons to learn. Just their ults were on ecos quite a lot. We saw like one that was really bad, and then the Alex cam of him just being what are you guys doing, man?
Stupid.
Like,
He
what
said, "Are
guys
you
doing?"
stupid?"
Yeah, that's what he said. He's stupid. And they had like 3 rounds on the 4 ecos where they're or basically 4 ecos where they're popping ults. So their ults were a little bit off. Their spacing was a little bit off. It's easy stuff to fix. It's like a lot of the stuff, when Mini kind of joined them and they corrected a lot of that stuff. It was like some of that was slipping through the cracks, and a bit of the old. I mean, I guess around this time last year, Paper Rex was slipping through, but it's fine. It's so easy to fix. And maybe they're still a little bit of period of getting MV up to date with everything that they like to do as well. So it's like I'm not down on them at all. Like, it hasn't changed my thoughts on them. It's just sucks to see it. It sucks to see like they were so good with ults last year. So it's definitely something that they can kind of focus on. And dude, shout out to GE for just shutting down something like this. He was getting annihilated. He really was.
Frost was on a mission.
Yeah,
Ilya
he
beat him
finally
again.
shut him down.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it was kind of just a off balance Paper X. It didn't really feel like the teamwork was there as much. And again, that might come down to Envy not being fully integrated in the system and things like that. It didn't feel like they were able to adapt to the Vito stuff quick enough. Like I would have expected players of their caliber to kind of, they might be a little brain dead sometimes, but they're generally actually they have a pretty high game IQ because of the insane amount of rank they play. It just felt like, okay, Paper X, like you just start throwing your bodies at the problem and you can get over the line, but that's not super encouraging for right now. But like Sliggy's saying, should be fixable. So they can do that, then they should be right back to being one of the favorites to not just go to Santiago but win it.
Yeah, and they got a rep on Breeze, which is always nice to get early. as much as I thought that was a
Dude,
genius
Jinx Jet
pick.
was sick.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah,
it
Yeah.
was really good.
it was all kind of strange. Jing on Jet. I think that was the first time in partnership, right? And then
Yep.
taking on Brim. Or Brim. I mean, imagine telling someone like 3 years ago, Brim, someone's gonna play Brim on Breeze. Like you would just look at them like, what on earth? Like, what?
Well, that was the other thing
Yeah.
the Vito was good against was the Brimstone. Like they used the ult to counter the orbital strike, stuff like that. Was
Yeah. Did that a couple times actually. The Vito ult to just against like Astrosux and stuff, just sticking it. I think that was in Americas mostly, but yeah. Paper Rex, I mean, they're Paper Rex. It wasn't a great game from them, but they're Paper Rex, so they managed to win these games. So let's move on. Let's talk about a team that maybe, because like, oh, DRX, oh, they'll be fine. Oh, T1, oh, they'll be fine. Oh, Paper Rex, they'll be fine. What about Gen.G? Are Gen.G gonna be fine? Because this, I think, of the like higher expectation teams, this was maybe the one where you looked at them play and go, ooh, that's maybe a bit worrying. Paper Thin?
Yeah, it is worrying. I mean, I found a lot of this whole scenario very strange. First of all, the map pick was bizarre. I don't know what you're doing picking Abyss here against a team that was the second best Abyss team in Pacific last year.
Oh, let him know. Let him know.
Yeah.
Only you would know that. Only
I know.
you would know who the second best Abyss team
Yeah,
in
the best
Pacific
team is
was last year.
DRX. The best Abyss team is DRX, but the second best is DFM. So first of all, the map pick was bizarre to me. The role swaps did not look comfortable at all. I mean, Ash could frag. Texture looked really lost all day. He had an okay Abyss, but you know he was really sluggish on the Neon. I felt so like the stuff just kind of it didn't look great. It just all felt slow and not adaptive, and like losing Munchkin obviously hurts. And yeah, I was scared. I'm scared for Gen.G now. Karan didn't look great. Scary.
Yeah, I gotta back that. I just think that you saw there was a round where Ash missed his Astra suck on attack and they just forward diffused. And then after that, there was multiple situations where he should be putting the star down. And you could just tell he's just like, well, I don't want to miss it again and look like an idiot. So he's not even putting the star down. So I don't know, man. It's looking rough. He's fragging well, but like his Astra looks really bad. There's loads of times where he should be fake smoking into double swings and stuff like that. There's no fake smokes.
which hurts even more when you've got one of the best smoke players, arguably one of the best Astra players on your team.
Yeah, that's why it's like pretty hard to watch. And then, I mean, we got to talk about Lakia's fragging, man. I disagreed with everyone in the off season. I think honestly it was mainly Sideshow peddling it, but there's like, oh, he's fragging well in the off season. I thought his fragging was like pretty crap in the off season, and if anything, it's got worse. So it's a worrying sign for sure, because you got to back that up with like really good calls and really good util. I mean, a lot of the time he's playing the server, and you got a lot less util, so it's hard to have that kind of impact as well. Yeah, it's not a great look, I guess, is the summary.
Yeah, I mean, this is the reason I was pretty low on them, even for the whole year, just because I think it's going to take a long time to. I think they will look better, like much better by the end of the year. But
sure, yeah.
But that's the end of the year, right? Like if you're fighting to get to fourth by the end of the year with points, like that's not the Gen.G you're expecting. So, personally, I was expecting not much from them in Kickoff. They still looked worse, and part of that I think is DFM looked better than I expected, so maybe there's some relevance there. But yeah, it's rough, man. I agree. Lakia's fragging was even worse than it was in the off season. I would say Zinx kind of got a reality check as well. In the off season, everyone's kind of taking it lightly. He thinks he can frag out against people just dashing in, and he just gets shut down against players like May and pretty much everyone else, honestly, on DFM this time around. So it's concerning, and the biggest concern is your prep can be good and the prepped calls can be good, but as we've just talked about with every team in Pacific, there's just so many teams now that don't just play off of pre-round playbooks. There's so many more that are much more fluid, much more aim based, and I don't know how long it's going to take for Lakia to catch up to that type of calling, or someone else to help him on that front, because like you said, if you're swapping roles, everyone else is uncomfortable. The only one who's comfortable enough to talk is probably Texture, but he's out there trying to create space and get frags and stay alive. So it's a bit of a mess, and honestly, I'm going to go as far as say it might even be a blessing for them to not go to Santiago, to have the time to retool. Yeah, honestly.
Okay. Well, I mean, can you actually, sorry, Soccer, can you get up that same round that you just showed? Because I want to move on to DFM. Because I mean, Pipton, I'll let you, you can go on a little victory lap here in a second. But I want to just let everyone know that round that you just showed, that round 1 against Gen.G, like, I knew Gen.G were in trouble this game from that round. Like, as the very first round of the game, when DFM do like a flank retake and the timing is really nice, and you can skip ahead to like when it's the retake, but like when they get into this spot and the timing is nice and the util is good and they all seem to know exactly what they were doing, I was like, oh no, Gen.G might lose. I was instantly like, Gen.G might lose this game if DFM are playing like this. Like this, that looks actually pretty good. And so yeah, let's move on now to talking about DFM, because obviously DFM, unless you're paper thin, who saved us from a guarantee mistake, by the way, but unless you're paper thin, you probably didn't think DFM were gonna be that great or win this game. But they did, and they looked impressive doing it. And I think in particularly their 2 new players as well looked like, holy, they found them. They found the Japanese shooters. They found them.
Yeah, they've got Yatsuka and Kaide can frag. I mean, we've seen glimpses of it even in the loss to RRQ, where both of them had some pretty stellar like individual plays. I think so for the Gen.G match, what this came down to me was actually that this is one of the most impactful skirmish wins I think we've seen, because they forced Gen.G to have to go for the first ban and the first pick, which I think really played into their hands, because it allowed them to go into 2 maps that, again, I think their 2 best maps from 2025 were Abyss and Pearl. So they were able to bring those out right away, have 2 maps that they know really well, that they played really well, well enough last year, that it was looking really favorable to me. As soon as I saw it come out, I'm like, holy shit, they've done this. They've actually outmaneuvered Solo here. On top of that, like you're talking about great retakes, great plans. That smoke they had on the eco round to jump onto the A site so they could avoid a lot of the util, and then they took an eco win on the second pistol in Abyss was just insane. Yeah, they really had a great read, great like rotations in terms of quick ability to move around the map. Like Cess was calling a good game, especially on Abyss. I felt like I think that it got a little too predictable on Pearl on their attack side. I think there could be some work there to put some more pressure in the middle of the map and stuff like that. But really, the util coordination was insane. I mean that coordination play with the Waylay ult on Abyss, where they sent the veto up mid, was absolutely coordinated. I mean, just in cool ideas where they were coming with on maps that they look really well prepared for. Don't know that I want to talk about the second match as much.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. I just want to point out as well, on Abyss, May bottom fragged. Imagine telling a DFM fan you're going to win a map where May bottom frags. I mean, that would have been impossible to think about last year. So it just kind of shows that, you know, hey, that as a team, and again, this is like we're talking about ZETA, like they just don't have the shooters. Like even as we come to the second game, we'll talk about it now. Like going forward though, like this proves like, okay, you actually have people that can shoot against what should be a half decent team. Like you've proven that you can do this. So that's wonderful. And by the way, if you're wondering, May on the next map I think dropped 30. Yeah, he dropped 31 on the next map. Yeah. So it's not like he was having a terrible time. He just had a quiet map and then instantly went back to the May we know, and they won that map as well. But now maybe let's skew a bit negative with Chobra. Talk about the RRQ game, because whilst the first game was good. I don't know. I just thought. I wanted
2026, new year, new me. I'm all for it. Let's go.
Right, the game against RRQ did not go as well. I mean, Haven maybe. I mean, actually, Haven started off decently well. They went up pretty
14
high
rounds.
10-4.
Yeah.
They were up 10-4.
And then they lost. How many rounds in a row was it? If you count over the 2 maps, that was what?
9
rounds there, and then another 10 rounds, so 19.
Oh yeah, and then
19 in a row.
19 rounds, 19. I think they lost in a row.
That's
not great, is it, Chobra?
No, that's miserable. And I mean, honestly, coming into Corrode, it just looked like they had just given up. Honestly, you know, by that point, like they didn't look like they were calming. They didn't look like they wanted to aim duel. Their aim was all shaky. It looked like no one was holding the fort down. You know what I mean? Like we had Yatsuka looking like prime Laz in the first half of Haven to missing like 4 headhunter shots in a row in a 1v1 on Corrode. And it's just like, oh, you guys, like literally Yatsuka was saving up all his energy for that one half and that was it. And he was like, "My job is done. Someone else has got to carry the torch," and then no one else was there. And it was depressing, but it also seemed to shout that it was a bit of a prep diff, right? Like you prepped certain things, certain sides, certain rounds, and once RRQ caught up to you, once the sides flipped, once the map changed, they were out of ideas.
Yeah, so I think they were mentally. So they've had a good first half on Haven, and they went on to attack, and then it looked like they had a good game plan. Second round in, they went to go farm the Phoenix orbs, and this was kind of a thing that continued on to Corrode as well. They saw 4 people from RRQ like trying to protect the orb, and then because of that, I think they just thought, oh, they're going to try and protect the orb all the time. We can't snowball this Phoenix. And that's pretty much why you play this comp. Like, you're trying to get as many Phoenix swords as possible, makes your attack a lot easier. And they just didn't, what I call a boncar default. You can see, go see with loads of people on Haven, you just kind of duel out, and then you then just take the orb all the time. So I think they saw the 4 people here trying to stop them from getting the orb, and they just thought they were going to do this all the time. And then they just didn't ever see default to try and get this orb. So then they never got any of the Phoenix swords, and they also maybe missed a couple of tricks. Like, the best thing about this comp from Paper X is their A default, where they're super ready for like aggro pushes with a set Fade Iron. It's actually a supportive Phoenix Flash, and they were missing that as well. So I feel like they missed a couple of tricks, but the main thing is you're playing the Phoenix. I know it's a simple, obvious game plan, but you got to stick to it, else you're probably going to get wrecked. So obviously, shout out to RRQ for having like good plan against this. But I don't think they thought it was going to work this well, to showing like 4 people in 1 round, and then just them never go in to get that orb again.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they were mentally boomed from just losing, 9 rounds in a row to lose a map, and then. Yeah, man, I don't want to talk about Corrode too much, dude. I'm watching May or not check corners and just like lose rounds and stuff like that. It's just, I wanted to say they were mentally boomed.
Yeah, it did genuinely look like just complete head loss.
Yeah, I also just want to add, it might just be a difference of you got to play a 5v4 for the first half of Haven, and then once Monyet logged into the game, it was a 5v5.
Yeah.
The game's a little different when there's 5 people on the other
What was
side.
he, 0-8?
He was 0-10 in the first half.
It was pretty high, yeah.
It was 0-10, which is not
shocking.
common.
Yeah, it looked a little shaky. But I mean, I think this is like the Dr. Detonation, Mr. Focus Me, right? Like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde of this team. Like, you have a brilliant like read on your maps, what you're going to be strong at, how to maneuver your opponent in the map draft, and then you try to throw a literal curveball at RRQ by you ban Pearl, the map you picked against Gen.G. I mean, I know RRQ is a good pro, but I get that. But like, you got to lean into your strengths here. And the other thing that they're not leaning into is May on entry duelist, right? Like, he's playing, Waylay Neon against Gen.G, and here he's playing Yoru. Not that his Yoru is bad or anything, but like, it makes more sense to me that you let Yatsuka be that. I know you want to run the chamber and stuff like that. But I think it makes more sense to me to stick Waylay, to stick May on Waylay or something like that here. Go back to, what kind of worked previously and iterate on that, because Kaide did not look super comfortable on the Phoenix. The alt usage across the board got really messy. There were times where they should have used alts and they didn't. Like, May had pushed up mid and didn't use his dimensional drift when he could have. Instead, he got wrecked by an Odin. Like, stuff like that, where I'm just like, you're talking about the mental boom. That absolutely came into play, but the game plans didn't feel deep enough here for what they wanted to do.
I think even the coach called a timeout and just said, simplify it. Like, just use your ults early, because I think he held his Yoru ult for 3 rounds. So they did what you said. They walked over towards middle, and it was like 3 rounds before they've used a Yoru ult. It's like, guys, this is one of your best ults right here on attack. Like, we got to be using it. Yeah, just put a TP out. You get that space for free ult before you take the TP, then you don't get count. So, yeah, it's I don't know, man.
It's gonna be okay. You know why?
Yeah,
you know why it's gonna be okay,
be.
Sliggy?
Go on.
It's gonna be okay because, speaking of doctors, they're getting a visit from Dr. Secret, who have a cure for all of your confidence needs, all of your teamwork needs. You need a little, mental refresher. Send in Team Secret to play against, and that's their reward for winning that first game. Get to visit Dr. Secret, who, by the way, I noticed aren't even in this run of show. That shows what Kurt thinks of them, or whoever made this run of show.
That's crazy.
Not even in it. So
they got
anyway,
dimension.
let's just quickly talk about RRQ. They won. They won 19 rounds in a row. I think it took some time maybe for them to grow in the game, but once they did, they looked like, I mean, not surprisingly, they've got the same team. They looked like the solid, know what they're doing team from last year. Am I right?
Yeah, they look great. I mean, the big standout for me is just Cushy, man, looking like an absolute rock. Like he really, really is. He's fragging so heavy. He doesn't really make mistakes, and it just feels like every time someone does make a mistake, he's covering it up. Zafero also just had like a really big game. And considering how much of a stinker Monyet had, this is a really nice win. Like really, this is Monyet, who's honestly been pretty consistent. I can't really remember last time he's had like a really bad one like this. So you would imagine that wouldn't happen again. It's a good sign. It's a good
I
sign,
think
man.
actually Cushy, you bring up Cushy. I think Cushy is the difference for RQ, because
Yeah,
Cushy
he's so good.
has had moments of like being insane, but like there was times last year where he also like wasn't that great. Like he was like kind of underperforming at times as well, I think. So I think if he can be this Cushy, like because RRQ, they did well last year. They overachieved last year for sure. But then when they got to the internationals, they kind of, were a bit forgettable. They didn't do too much. They didn't do too well. But I think, with that experience they've now got, and if Cushy can play like this on an international stage, I think they could do some damage. I've got RRQ going to Santiago. Anyone else?
I can't remember what I have.
Anyone else a believer?
I think I
no,
have them
says
losing
Babe,
to
shaking his head
$0.04.
vigorously.
I may have ended up trolling by having T1 there with full sense.
Well, maybe we all have. I think
We'll
I think
see.
probably
Yeah.
most of us had T1.
I got T1 there.
T1 Paper X,
Yeah. So
we
shall see.
Yeah, I do think just one thing is Cushy was also consistently ill in all the like important matches they had last year, like the grand finals, the lower finals.
So the
things like
FNATIC, he's licking doorknobs all the
yeah,
time.
so they've got to keep him in a bubble now that they're getting close to one of those matches. But this was the Cushy that was promised, so that looks good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Util is good.
Wonderful.
Got to give a shout out to Xfaro here. Guy played out of his
so
mind
good.
on the lurks. His timings were insanely good. He was countering DFM's lurks every single time they went for one. He was on point. So impressed with the way he played. That's just that veteran presence that he brings. Like such a talented player, such a smart player.
And game plans were good. It's just an overall nice performance from him.
Everything. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So RRQ looking good. They've got a tough game though. We will talk about the games now as we do a week 2 predictions. So what was that, sorry? Oh, okay.
I can do that.
Well,
Quick little
okay.
commercial
Well,
break.
we've got a tech pause. A Plat Chat tech pause.
Who
whilst
would
we
have
We gotta
fix-
thought?
sponsor this.
We haven't had enough for this week.
What's going
so
on in
we thought-
Americas? Yeah. Dang.
I mean, if you want, I can happily waffle. There's actually 2 teams we haven't talked about. Okay, wonderful. Well, let's depress ourselves again, shall we? Very quickly. Team Secret. Team Secret. Are they worse than ZETA Division?
No, I don't think so.
Probably not. I don't think
Yeah,
so.
I don't
I
think
kind of
so.
don't think so.
I think they'd out aim him.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think aim-wise they'll be okay, right? I think they looked just uneventful. I mean, I think the biggest concern is
Such a good word for Secret. They're uneventful.
yeah, uneventful, but also it was against a Nongshim that's looking better than most of us thought, right? And we were kind of, I think most people were hesitant after the first match because it was Secret. Then they beat T1. You're like, okay, well, Secret, maybe you're a little bit forgiven. The only thing I would say is 10-10 looking rougher than he did when he was on Zeta as a sub, right? So it's just like, is that a
That's a
confidence
rough
thing, a
career move, isn't
comms
it?
thing? Yeah. So
ZETA to Secret. That is
brutal.
What has he done to deserve that?
He went from T1 Academy, mind you, where the coach is now the head coach of the main roster, and his teammate got promoted to the main roster last year to Zeta and now Team Secret. But if he can regain that confidence, I think they'll be fine against Zeta when they meet, if they meet. But other than that,
But
it
he's
was-
he's an opper, right? And he got an op
Yeah.
once.
yeah,
Okay,
he's a
yeah.
big opper. Yeah.
Yeah.
They only got
Well,
it
not
out
on
once.
Secret, he isn't.
Yeah, maybe on Secret isn't. But
Yeah.
dude, they got to play to their win cons, man. He's actually really good with the op. I think he just got to lean into that.
Okay. And then the other team that we didn't talk about was a debut team, VARREL, who lost to Global Esports 2-0. And honestly, they played the same as they kind of did during Ascension. You don't
I
think?
don't think so.
I
No,
don't
complete
know.
I don't
opposite. They're
think
running
so.
way different comps.
Well, it's
I
not
just
just the
completely
comps
forgotten this game.
either. They were just really hesitant. I mean, I think the comps kind of had to happen with the changes to the game as well, but you could just tell that they were scared. And once maybe they
Oh,
even
the
knew that
Cinder.
they had gotten countered by GE's prepped, but as soon as they recognized that, you could tell that they were like, well, we have to be cautious now. Like, we can't actually just peek this corner. And then they lost all of the tempo, and that was very, very unfortunate to watch, really. I think it was honestly the worst first round opponent they could have met too, because we know that Frost loves just like picking apart, weaknesses of teams, right? And you run into a team that's just targeting you hard, and they
Yeah.
keep up with the aim.
Okay.
Everyone check DMs.
Dang,
Oh,
you guys don't check your DMs? I was
imagine.
busy.
Anyway, me and
I was
Chober
busy
will
checking
talk
all my
about VARREL,
DMs.
shall we?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
all
Alright,
Legging
we'll
and
talk
paper
about
thin.
this.
You got to do some preds.
Yeah.
Gotta do some preds. Oh, I see.
Yes, I remember now the Abyss, the Harbor Abyss. The Harbor
Yes, the
Abyss. I mean,
Harbor.
Sideshow is gonna go crazy about this one as well. I mean, I don't know what is going on here with the teams playing Harbor Abyss. I mean, it's just not it. It's just not it.
No.
I mean, Sliggy's unfortunately he's having to concentrate on something else right now. I mean,
Yeah,
I know
sorry.
he'd be all over this, but I mean, it was just. I mean, yeah, Global were good. Don't get me wrong, but like, why? Just why?
Yeah, the Harbor was a big question mark, and I say that as a Harbor believer, but he's still not in a good spot. And I
You're a
also
Harbor
just think-
believer?
I am a Harbor believer.
That's
You
crazy.
see a connection
That's
here? I
probably
believe in
your-
Harbor. I believe in
probably your-
GE.
It's your
it's all
craziest
coming
take,
together.
man. That's your craziest take so far. Yeah, I think dude, it just it annoyed me, man, because it's like first of all they played the Harbor on here. It looked crap for sure.
Yeah.
And then you go over towards Split, and I'd spoken about it before in the GE one, where it's like you are playing against a solo Yoru, and you're just giving them jewels all the time on defense. Like, they literally want that. And GE spacing is just so much better that they're just trading so well. So it was like bad game plan for sure, and shit comp on Abyss. Bad game plan on Split, shit comp on Abyss. They're your two maps.
No.
So not a positive start for VARREL overall in their
great.
first
No.
first game here. Cinder went 2-17, I think, on Abyss. I mean that's
Mm-hmm.
Cinder was
pretty
trying to
rough.
hide
I mean,
out in
Zexy, to be fair,
smokes.
dropped 28
Yeah.
at 1+12. I mean, he was frying a little bit, but it just wasn't enough. I mean, it was him and no help essentially on that second map. So are we ready now? One moment, it's fine. Don't worry. I mean,
Then on that note, for VARREL, I do think, given the personality of these guys, if they can just regroup, right, and just say, you know what, like, screw it, for the rest of Kickoff, let's just just do everything you want, right? Play to your confidence, play to your win conditions. If they do that, I think they still have a decent performance. Like, obviously not making Santiago, but if they're like, well, what do we do? If they do what Nongshim did last year of like, well, we didn't know what it felt like to lose, and now we don't know what to do, then that spells trouble for like the first half of the year, because I think that's not just the players, it's like the coaching staff having to learn how to deal with that for the first time at a high level, right? So it is kind of brutal.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, Kickoff is a lot about leaning into your strengths, not necessarily, unless you're Frost, like the other team's weaknesses. But you got to come in here, just play what's been working for you, do what you got to do, like put the people on the agents, even if it's not necessarily the meta or whatever. Like, who cares? Just throw your best guy on their best agent on those maps, and let them try to get it done and work around it the best that you can, because it's early in the year. People are trying to suss out how is Vito going to fit into all of this. We got some changes on Breeze. All these things are kind of coming into play, and people are trying to be a little too creative or try to steal some ideas from other people that they don't fully understand. Just come in here and do what works for you, man. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we are ready, hopefully, to do some predictions. So let's dive in. So this is the next week of Pacific, which starts on Thursday again, I believe. So let's dive in. Our first game. Oh, sorry, the match of the week. Don't forget, you can vote on the community tab for the match of the week. We'll get to that when we get to it. But our first game is Team Secret versus DFM. Get ready to smile. A guarantee of DFM.
Against
Paper Thin, I'm going to
Secret.
ask you for this first. Percentage the Team Secret win
Percentage?
this. Yeah, what's your percent on this game?
Like 45. I think it's actually not bad. I mean,
Oh, so you
like,
think Secret have a decent
Secret,
chance?
like the thing is like
I thought you were
I'm-
going to go like 80.
I'm mega concerned that maybe DFM decided that they don't feel like they can make it to Santiago, so they're gonna limit test. Like they're gonna play maps that they're bad at, and they're just gonna see what happens. Like they're gonna be like, yeah, fuck it, we're gonna play Bind. We permabanned it all last year. Let's give it a go. Like that was the decider, by the way, in that RRQ match. If it got there, was Bind, a map they barely play. I don't think they played it since 2024 or something like that. Like it clearly seems to me like Vors feels like he either has a great read on some stuff or has some tricks up his sleeves, and then we saw the tricks up the sleeves didn't work. So do you just go back to playing Pearl Split, Abyss if you get it, which you probably won't because most teams are going to ban it against you? Like, I mean, I could see Team Secret just kind of just having that, again, veteran presence that comes over the line maybe, but I think it should be DFM. Like, they have more firepower. So
I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, it took teams multiple months to figure out to ban EG's Fracture. No way they're going, well, it's DFM Abyss. We got to get rid of
it
it.
took
Yeah, I
4
think you're
Abysses
right.
No,
last year. It took 4
It
last
takes,
year.
it takes way longer than you would expect from most teams. They'll be fine, I'm sure. They'll be fine. Just pick Abyss. There you go. DFM. They'll win. Okay, next game. Oh, Jesus, a slug. Are you casting this day? Is this the same day? Are you casting this Paper Thin?
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh,
yeah.
well, have a fun one.
Damn.
Zeta versus
I'm
Global
finally
Esports. Get ready to smile.
Wow.
What could go wrong? I feel better about this one, I think, than the other one.
Yeah, I agree with that
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
This should be.
This is, I mean, this should be like as high as you can go without giving 100% IMO.
Damn, bro, give us a percent. Oh, this could be good. You
Go on,
gotta give us
100%.
I'll
Is
give
this-
it a
100%
I'll give it a
this Joker.
friggin' I'll give it a 97.
Wow.
97.
That's
3%.
crazy. Imagine telling any global fan ever you're going to have a 97%
It would
chance of winning.
Nah. What if Shyo has a life game here? That's all. Actually, see the
Is that all you
realization of the
need?
potential. Like he's the actual like potential demon.
I mean,
I
I
still
don't
don't-
think it's going to happen.
No.
I honestly don't think we need to talk
No.
about this game at all. I think we've made
No.
our points clear. We
Yes.
think little of Zeta. We think good
No.
about Global. They should win.
Yes.
Let's move on to our next game, which is VARREL versus DRX.
Dude, are we gonna all? Whoa,
No, we're not.
okay.
No, we're not.
Really?
No, we're not.
Smart
right.
man.
Hear
Smart
me
man.
out on this one.
Go on.
Well, I mean, they messed up the Preds, so we didn't pred the other games that are happening. Don't blame me. Not gonna throw any blame towards Sarko or Kurt either, but it's probably Kurt's fault. Anyway, we
Yeah, we
fixed
can do
it.
'em.
We got there. So I was looking at the Preds that I did, and I was like, I feel like I'm just going. There's gonna be at least one. I mean, we've seen in Kickoff so far. There's been many,
Sure.
many upsets that people won't expect. So I was just looking at it. I was just like, what if DRX are bad? Like, what if things don't go right for them? What if they don't get better? What if Hyunmin is still ill? I didn't know that at the time, so I was just like, oh, maybe Hyunmin will have a bad performance. And so, yeah, I just looked at this one. It's like, maybe. And then, honestly, when we did the Team Secret Pred, I was like, I should have just done the Team Secret one instead of this one, because
Mess it
I
up.
probably feel better about that. But here we are. I've picked VARREL. It's a punt. I understand that. But
After hearing that, I'm more confident in my pick now. Yeah.
Yeah, same. I feel alright, dude. I feel so fine about this. I just don't, mate. I can't have any confidence after what I saw.
I think Choba might be right, though. I think they might just go, our first game.
Yeah.
We let's just go and do random
Play the jet
stupid
again.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it
and
rip,
just- Just go crazy, and maybe they'll catch a team off first time they do it. Who knows? Probably not DRX, but who knows? I've gone with it. I'm going slightly bold. I'll probably be wrong, but if I'm right, God, imagine if I was right. You would all look foolish, wouldn't you? Let's talk about our match of the week, though, which is Gen.G versus T1 to go straight to the lowers.
Oh,
Straight to the lowers, Gen.G T1, and we've guaranteed
That's-
T1.
sure.
Oh no.
No, we're fine.
You think?
We're fine.
You're
yeah.
What do you present this then?
yeah, what
I
percent?
present this 70-30.
Oh,
present
the
Damn,
ball is
70.
long.
That's pretty high. I mean, like
Yeah.
T1 were okay, but they weren't.
They
No,
weren't
they
good.
were
They
okay.
were good.
but I don't, no, but I don't think Gen.G can play at a pace that will leave Munchkin scratching his head. Like, I think that was a big thing. was Munchkin trying to make calls at that pace to his teammates who weren't on the same page. But Gen.G is just not currently capable of getting anywhere close to that speed. It's going to be prep versus prep, and Munchkin is just going to no.
Yeah, but there is always a world where Texture just wins them the game. I know
Yeah.
T1 have multiple players.
I mean,
who
there's
can do
always
that as
a
well,
world
but
where
there is a
Buzz
world.
also bails them out. Like
Yeah,
he
you
did
know,
on
yeah,
map
I'm
one,
totally
you know?
with you. But the
it's-
Texture world definitely exists, and we've
That's
seen
the
it multiple
30.
times before.
Texture
That's
single-handedly
the 30.
takes
Texture is the
9%
30.
out of the 30, and then the 1% is shared among the other 4.
I think until I see like a more convincing Gen.G, like I'm gonna have a lot of teams beating them. Really, like a lot of
okay.
teams. So, dude, they're just like so uncomfy, man.
Mhm.
I'm so worried for Lakia, dude.
Wow.
I'm so
Where would you
worried
put
for
Yeah.
it
him.
out of 12 teams? How many
Yeah.
teams would you definitely put Gen.G above? Probably Zeta,
Yeah,
Secret,
secret.
Barrel.
Yeah,
G.
VARREL. Maybe I'll put him 9th.
Oh, that's a rough start to the season. Isn't it?
I think like a DFM Gen.G would be awesome right now. I think
That's
DFM would
the
win.
level they're
I
at.
think DFM would win, man. I really
Wow.
do.
They did.
But we could be wrong.
They did.
We could be wrong.
They did.
Could be wrong. It's one game. We're basing this on
Yeah.
one game.
Might happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's true, yeah.
it's a guarantee. What could go wrong? Let's move on. So these are the upper games
That's true,
now. This is to go to the upper final. These next two games. Our first one is Chobra's Nongshim against Full Sense. We know what he thinks of these two teams, and this went exactly
Sure.
as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Where me, Paperthin, and Sliggy have all gone for Full Sense, and Chobra, give us the cope. Why will Nongshim win this game?
I do think that Notion will still have a better macro plan. The biggest thing I'm concerned about is I don't think Domby gets away when it's Primi. Like he can do it against T1, he can do it against a lot of other teams, but Primi will probably snap onto him before he gets past him, as he has in the past. So if they can just fix that, then I think macro-wise it's enough to duke it out throughout the best of 3. However, I will just go on record saying that the matchup itself, I think, is just always tough for Nongshim. I think this squad is tough regardless of how you rank them like overall as a team, versus each other. But I do think it's one of the tougher matchups, like even more than T1 actually. So I don't think it's easy. I think this is actually a pretty fair number, like 3-1. So
Oh no, yeah, this shouldn't be a guarantee. This
Nah,
should
no,
be a
this
guarantee.
is a
no,
close
I'm-
one. This is a close.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
totally fine with that. But I think, I don't know. The Nongshim guys are fragging as well, so I don't think they'll get run over mechanically. And I think Nongshim's gotten smart enough that they will not be like, we can run over them. I think that was one of their problems last year, where they're like, oh, well, we can do that. Like, we get away with it. Domby will just create space, and then we'll trade Primi. And then Primi's like, well, actually, no, Domby's dead. So this year, that hopefully, after losing to them 4 times, Nongshim, by the way, you guys did it 4 times last year. So I'm pretty sure you have enough data to figure out how to not die to Primi immediately and then just sit in front of the site the whole round, and then they'll be fine.
I think teams might spend a lot of time figuring out how not to die to Primi, and probably will mostly fail.
Fail.
If I had to
Mostly
guess.
fail. Yes, probably.
Any of you two want to give a quick shout out for Full Sense? Why do you think they'll win this game?
I just
Go
they
ahead.
just have the firepower, man. They don't have many holes in the game at the moment, from what I'm seeing. Like I thought their main
breeze
thing
gone?
would be, it kind of
Like the solo smokes, no cipher.
Once
But it
they got it
didn't-
together, it started to look good.
Yeah.
It
No,
took
I-
5 rounds, but
It wasn't
got there.
like the comeback actually had me believing a little bit. Like you're looking at the Vice actually locking down over towards B every time they did come B. I was like, yeah, it has some potential. I don't think it's gonna last long. And I would always play a Viper.
Yeah.
my main worry about this team was Jitboy's calling. I think his calling looked good. So
Mhm.
now I kind of have no worry.
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
I think a little bit map pool stuff here for me. They both really like Split, and I think Full Sense's Split is a little bit better. So I think if you're gonna go like, there's a deciding map that's like they both kind of like it, that's gonna decide the series. It's probably gonna be Split in there. Either someone's gonna pick it or it's gonna be the last map. And I favor Sense a little. On top of the firepower stuff, I have a little bit in that regard.
It's a
And
close one,
just
though.
keep a shorty. Just keep a shorty with you, man. Just keep shorties. Let Domby run into
That's
It's
true.
fine. Just blast him.
I mean, to
Simple.
be fair, that didn't quite work out for Munchkin, but
Only on
for
Split.
Primi, it should be fine.
yeah. Well, Primi's got the aim.
Okay, let's move on to our final game then. Very interesting one. Paper Rex versus RRQ. Oh, please don't. No, no.
Yeah, but you knew we were gonna do this.
I
shit.
know, I knew we were going to, but at the same time, I'm thinking, if both teams played at the exact same level they did last game,
Yeah.
Yeah.
do we not think that RRQ actually might?
RRQ. I mean,
might
if they
win.
both
They
play to
could.
that level, it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
Really?
From
So
what was it?
I'm a little bit
Yeah,
worried.
yeah.
I'm a little bit worried
Okay,
about this one.
but do you think so? The way I thought of it as well was, do you think RRQ would have been able to close out the game against GE? Obviously, very hypothetical, but I think GE would have won if it was someone not Paper Rex. So to me, while Paper Rex was almost losing because it was Paper Rex as well, they also only won because it was Paper Rex. And in that sense, I think RRQ could make it very close, but I think it'd be very, very, very tough for RRQ to win. Not a miracle, but very, very tough to like actually
What?
close out the full
I mean,
BO3.
sure.
Did they beat them in the Stage 1 final last year? RRQ? Was that the Stage 1 final? Was it Paper X RRQ or was it different?
Stage 1, man.
This is the
one they
Toronto run.
won,
When
Yeah,
right?
Paper X
too
won the
long ago.
Toronto run.
No,
No,
that
Paper Rex
Paper
was
Rex
third.
Yeah,
Paper X
Oh,
came
were they?
third, yeah.
It's
Okay.
Gen.G. It was
Okay.
Gen.G.
beat Gen.G. Yeah, that was like the
Okay.
big dramatic comeback. But they did beat them in the lower final or whatever. So they did beat Paper
Okay,
Rex in a
well,
big
yeah.
match.
There you go. I think it's possible. I actually think
It's definitely possible.
Oh, it's definitely
just-
possible. It's
Paper
definitely
X should
possible.
clean up how they played.
Yes.
Yeah,
should be
yeah, yeah.
fine.
That's my whole thing. Yeah.
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 Okay. So we're all on the Paper X train for this one. But now we're going to move to EMEA. Thank you, Chobra. Thank you, Paper Thin. You two are going to go. Me and Sliggy are going to stay. We're going to talk EMEA. And yeah, looking forward to Pacific and those games. Go vote on the Gen.G T1 game. That's for to go into the lowers, the very lowers, that game. Crazy start to Pacific.
That's sick. Dude, Pacific's so fun, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
So
I mean, it
fun to
genuinely
watch.
is. Honestly,
Yeah.
like, oh, man, watching Pacific games and then having to go to EMEA on some of these days is like,
It's
it's a culture
crazy,
shock.
isn't
It
it?
is genuinely a
Yeah.
culture shock of like the pace is so wildly different. It's kind
Yeah,
of
no, it
insane.
really
And
is.
Pacific games are just more fun. I'm just going to throw it out there. Pacific games are the most fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Facts.
The most fun
There
region
you
to
go.
watch.
There you go.
Hell
Anyway, on to EMEA. Certainly the best
Okay.
region. Bye, Chobra. Bye, Paperton. Off you go.
Bye.
Bye.
Justice for Tai Lu. Bye.
What?
Everybody was underrated him, man. I just had to sneak it in there.
Oh,
All
right.
right. See you
Yeah,
guys
that's
later.
Okay, we're going to bring in Mini. There he is. And we're going to bring in Akuka, hopefully. Oh,
Oh,
Mini's
later,
gone.
Mini.
Oh, no Mini, apparently. Mini needed to replace. Oh, no Kakuka, apparently. Just a two-man show. Paper
Hello?
Thin is locked in. He
Hello.
is locked in
Dude,
there.
this has to be your webcam mic, Mini. I'm listening to that.
Oh, okay. One sec.
That's
We are
crazy,
getting the
Dave.
full wind effect. Are you in a wind tunnel? Kakuka is
Okay.
here, but you sound
Hello,
quiet.
hello.
Hello.
Kukuka, are you whispering? Oh, you're very quiet.
No, you're just
Very
quiet.
I think you fixed your mic as well, Mini. EMEA, more tech pauses, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic
Yes,
EMEA. Get the
crazy.
Kit Kat sponsor up again.
Yeah, I think you fixed it, Mini.
I
Oh,
have
you're
to
pretty
go have a
quiet as well.
break.
Oh
my God, I cannot-
I can't do it.
I can't
Oh.
hear Mini. Am I
He's
as
like a
quiet
little
as him?
mouse. Nah, you're so
you
fine
were.
now.
You're fine now.
Oh, okay.
And then Minnie the mouse will figure out his setup, I'm sure. But yeah, shall we just start? And Minnie will figure it out. He's a smart guy. Look at him. In fact, actually, konnichiwa, Minnie. How's it going? First game with Zeta, not so great.
Can you hear me though?
I can, yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
bit
it's
better.
all good.
It's a bit quiet, but yeah.
First game was I mean, I watched the game and I was like not as horrified as I thought I was gonna be at certain things.
Okay.
Okay.
The issues Zeta have are very different than other teams I've coached in the past. They were in advantageous positions, I feel like, in that first game, consistently, and just got kind of skill diffed, I think. Second
You're calling
game,
Leo
macro
as
was
we
a bit
speak.
iffy. What's sorry?
You're calling Leo as we speak. Yeah, convincing him.
There are
Learn-
pools being
learn
made
Japanese.
around the world. You know.
Okay.
No, it's just yeah. So it's just it's a different. I think there's a lot of fundamentals and things like that that just need to be worked through. And then yeah, so yeah.
Okay, well, I look forward to seeing their improvement, which I'm sure will come because you're an excellent human being and coach. And here we are. Let's talk about EMEA.
Oh,
Don't be.
there we go.
Don't bring him on and just compliment him for God's
Let's
sake.
talk about EMEA. Jesus, this first team, the Karmine Corp. This was a rough one for me because I had Karmine Corp making it to Santiago, and they came out. And look, they were playing against a good NAVI team. We'll talk about them in a second. But there was some rough rounds here from Karmine Corp in some of this map. It wasn't all bad, but there was some
What was
rough
good?
stuff.
Ooh.
Go on, Kukuka.
No. You're saying it wasn't
It's a
all bad, so
question.
tell me what was good.
What was good?
Go on,
I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. I can tell you a couple of things that I think were good.
Yeah, go on.
I think
Go on.
Sugetsu was good. I think that Avis
Yeah.
on Tejo was very good. I like to see some Tejo action. I think that in Americas, yesterday I was very surprised with Gen.G. There was some very good lessons. I would like to see even more there of EMEA, but then Haven happened. Haven happened.
A map of Valorant was played.
And well, you would think that.
So
I
in
didn't.
that coach confession thing, and you asked them, you're playing Haven, you played it last year with the same comp. What's the approach? And they said they're going to play the same comp, but they kind of had a bit of a laugh and were like, we're going to play it very differently. Did you guys catch what was different? Like I didn't really understand what
And
their
this
approach
is why
was.
you should never trust men. I don't think we should do coach confessions anymore.
Like I do
Because-
think there was a difference, but like it was just felt very slow, and I didn't really see what the direction.
Yeah.
I don't know if you had analysis here, Sliggy, about that. Like
I mean, I couldn't really see anything different, to be honest. But maybe I didn't look hard enough. They were kind of just getting wrecked. I think a lot of the time it was very hard for me to focus on them because Navi was doing so much good that I
Yeah,
was
sure.
like, it kind of stole the show a little bit for me. I still think that K-Corp should have won split though. Like I'm still kind of looking at that, thinking double pistol they lost. Like they should have won. But in terms of the Haven, I don't know, man. I don't know what was different.
Well, can I just bring up? I'm sorry, I don't want to call someone out. And again, I was really high on KC. I was excited for this roster. I was like, this is going to be a good team. I'm feeling it, especially for kickoff. Levin's Yoru, there was some rough moments of
I
Yoru.
feel like Levin is having the same issue that he had last year. But I think that he is a player that needs a lot of support. And I feel like last year on BBL, it got to a resort where they would just put him on Jet just so he was comfortable. And I think that in KC he might encounter some of the same issues. I also do think that Navi played very, very well. But yeah, it was a bit lukewarm. I agree with you. I expected more for KC, especially thinking that the best result they ever got was in Kickoff a couple of years ago. And it was like, I feel like Eng and Sage have already tested kind of what worked and what didn't in terms of the risks to take for Kickoff. And I expected more. I was a bit disappointed to see the same comp as well.
Yeah, honestly, I was almost a bit worried when I saw this first the
It's
same
like there's
comp, 'cause
only
I
one
was
thing they can prep. There's only one thing they can
Yeah.
prep.
'cause I was thinking like, how are KC going to be good? They're going to have cooked up some new stuff that people aren't ready for. Then when they come out with the same comp, I'm a bit like, oh.
Do you know the
that's a
funniest
bit
thing? Shyo
disappointing.
came on the show after their match, and he was like, "They did everything that we thought they were gonna do. We only had like what they had done in like Blender and this and that. We expected that maybe they were going to change anything, but he said like ABC, literally ABC.
Great. Oh, great start, is it? The first map. Honestly, I don't want to talk about Karmine Corp because it's depressing me. I kind of just want to talk about their opponents. I just want to be positive. I just want to be happy. Let's be happy. Navi, mate. Well, are they the story of the EMEA? We'll get to their next opponents,
One of,
maybe, of
yeah.
the story of EMEA. But certainly one of the story of EMEA is Navi. And for me, going into Navi, again, a team I was pretty high on, to be honest. But to me, there was 3 questions for Navi, right? It was 1, Shyo coming into IGL, Angel's now the coach. 2, can Hero and Ruxic be the Hero and Ruxic that they were during Stage 2 last season? And 3, will Filu kind of overheat and, like make some strange mistakes that he had previously on Koi? And I think they've passed all 3 with flying colors from what I've seen.
Yeah,
Am I wrong?
I can get on board with that. Ruxic and Hero, but especially Hero, man, he's like really good right now. Really, really good. I like the Ruxic over towards the chamber, to be honest, as well, because he's just such a heavy fragger that he can kind of just take over games. The thing that I'm liking the most about this is kind of what you were saying with Shyo. Like, I think the calling is basically like, it's like the same as watching an Angel team. It's like he's still on the server, apart from all the stuff that I don't like to watch, in like the losing the first kills. But when it comes up to like they look like 2022 FPX in terms of their pistols and their like bonus rounds. They're very good pistols, insanely good anti-ecos at the moment, and then they're normally converting that into a bonus round, and they're just very good at snowballing. They have very nice starts into every single half at the moment, because again, I think their anti-ecos and their bonus rounds are good. And then it's just simple ult calling. Like, they have an ult, it's a big round, let's do it. And then they're also throwing in like these kind of quirky, unexpected pushes when they're like, say they're going up against a team with maybe 2 ults that they feel are pretty big. If they sit on a site, they'll get overwhelmed. Like on defense, they're doing like 4-1 pushes. We saw it on Bind where they just push through middle. That is essentially unexpected. So it's like a really strong mix of a team that can snowball well, good ult decisions in terms of like pre-barrier calls, and then just throwing in random curveballs. So you have to expect a lot of stuff if you're VOD reviewing them. They look awesome.
I do agree in that they look a lot like the FPX that you know, achieved great things, and that definitely made a name for themselves. You can see, especially like I think on Split here, the making a little bit of contact somewhere in the map and then freezing for 30 seconds. Like, you can definitely tell that the way that FPX played, it's still there. Things that Shyo said. TMV, what is it that you said that was the task for Filu? Sorry, I forgot.
To not overheat and make some strange decisions.
To no overheat. So Shyo also said that Filu wasn't even on the list for them to trial in duelists and stuff, but it's just that one day they had someone that couldn't attend the trials, and his agent asked Filu like, hey, this situation's coming up, can you play? He said, hell yeah, and he trialed. They thought he was amazing, and I think that for him is redemption, but it's also important to understand that for a team like NAVI, they've never been very like duelist centric. It's not like we're going to put all of these resources. If you think about the duelists that NAVI have had, they've rarely been the standout point or like the piece of the puzzle that is made to shine. And like for some other teams where it's very like, it's very heavy, that you see the intention in every single plan that they make to have the duelists be a part of that. And maybe this is something that fits Filu better. Maybe this structure and all these things is something that, you know, makes him more comfortable.
I mean, it certainly can't hurt when you've got like insane players backing you up, and you know that, so you know you don't have to go carry the game. Maybe that was the problem on Koi. Maybe he felt like, I've got to go win the game, and you know he would end up making bad decisions, but not here. Minnie, what do you think of NAVI?
Yeah, I mean, I think that honestly, I think Angel going to coach has done a lot of good for the team, because I think that Angel had this thing where whenever he was in the server, it felt like he would complicate the game and the comps and stuff. Most of the time, and until like last year at the end, like, and it felt like because he knew he was smart, he played like KO, and it's just like, bro, please stop playing IGL KO. Like, like there's like one player in the world that can do it. Like, don't do it. It's not fun to watch. And now,
right.
like, it's like he understands that he's not in the server, therefore let's just keep it a bit simpler. But it's honestly just better. So I think that it's like having like a double pronged uptick. So I like the comps they're playing. Like, I think it suits them. I think that yeah, it's just looking good. And I agree. I echo what Siggy's saying. Like, when I watch the cooling, it's like Shyo has kind of absorbed a lot of what Angel's done over the years. There was even a period back in the day where Shyo was the IGL for like a tournament, and it was even not bad back then from what I remember. So I think that like it's a success for both Shyo and Angel.
Getting a bit choked up talking about how good they are. I mean, that's wonderful.
I'm a bit sick. I'm sorry.
It's okay, don't worry. Yeah, so I think we're all high on NAVI. Again, I like just seeing where people are. Are you true believers or not? Are NAVI gonna go to Santiago? One word this time.
I had them on them making Santiago before we even started.
That's a true believer right there.
Yeah,
I did have them third, but
I think they will.
Okay.
I think they will.
Minnie?
It just feels so wrong saying they.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. I get that, because it's been so long since we've seen them be good. Like, good.
Oh, Minnie.
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, ZETA. Anyway, let's talk about the team that they beat in their second game. This was, you know, perhaps an upset, but I think with the way NAVI were looking, maybe not too big of an upset. but they managed to beat Team Heretics in their first game. And Heretics, ooh, are we panicking? Let's start with you, Kakuka, the Spanish team. Are you worried? It wasn't a great week for Spanish teams, to be honest, but here we go.
It wasn't a great week for Spain. It's not been a good year for Spain so far. But there's a couple of takeaways from this game. For the side of Team Heretics, to me it looks like they didn't do much in the offseason, kind of feel, or like they didn't they failed, they missed on points that, for example, I think Navi excelled at. What you were saying, Minnie, about the compositions that Navi were playing, I would like to see Team Heretics doing the same for comeback. I don't think he was comfortable. If I, like, I would put him always in like something that he's incredibly comfortable on, like a Neon, like a Jet, like I don't know, give him an operator, give him a chamber. I don't know. To me, it felt a bit jarring in that. I know that Rians was away for a long period of time, but it doesn't matter because it's Rians. So he's a player that you should not be, you should not be thinking that he's not going to deliver, because he delivered as he always does. But I don't know. It was lukewarm for me. This could have been technically a 2-0 if it wasn't for the abysmal hole that Navi has on A on Haven. It's massive. Seriously, I wish Team Heretics would have gone the 12 rounds to A, because we finished that half with Navi putting 4 people on A and losing. It was insane. But if Navi would have fixed that or thought of a different approach, it could have been a 2-0 perfectly.
I do want to pick up on what you said there about the roles of this team as well, because it was interesting. I was streaming with Elevated and he was going on Comeback's tracker as well. Check what he's playing, because if you look at like his stats as well on Raze, they are a lot worse than like his Neon or his Jet, for instance. And like he was on his tracker and he's like, he's not playing any Raze, he's playing a lot of Jet in ranked. And you've also got Woot, of course, without Mini Boo. He's now had to move to Yoru. And obviously Woot, I think on Yoru, it looked okay, but he obviously hasn't played a lot of Yoru because Mini Boo was always playing Yoru. You've kind of ended up with this weird mix. What do you think, Minnie? Does Heretics need to change their comps to, like, should they go in like a Nongshim direction where this guy plays Neon and he's incredible at Neon, so let's just do that all the time? Or do you think they should be more balanced and stick with
I think there's two things. It's like the first thing is the player comfort, which we're probably going to talk about the most, in terms of like, obviously if you have a player that's comfortable on an agent, you put them on that agent, which I think is obviously. But I think the other thing here is that I don't think Heretics are playing double duelist that well. Like when I watch, like, it feels like the obvious thing to come away from this game would be Comeback didn't have a very good game and that's why they lost. Whereas I come away thinking, I don't know if they know how to play double duelist, or like I don't think it suits their style. Sorry, like I'm watching Boo trying to do like a little bit of like complicated mid round sometimes, and I'm just a bit confused. Like they kind of lack that explosivity, I feel like, to play double duelist as much. And I think that, much to what Kukuka said, I think that EMEA has completely missed the fact that like Chamber exists as an agent, and that can also be an option. There's also the KO Waylay kind of option happening. Like if Boo wants to call like a double initiator style, just play KO with the Waylay or something and figure that out. So yeah, I think there definitely is a way to configure this team to a way that makes sense for both the calling structure and the player comfort, I think. But it doesn't seem to be there yet. I could be overreacting, but I think that 2020
off one game.
No.
Because I'll be honest.
Stop it,
I think the
Stop
kickoff
it.
is the moment to
2025 the
overreact.
same. Yeah, 2025 was the same. I feel like today, like we just had a meeting about this. Like for broadcast, like we did give them a lot of grace in 2025. I feel like, because they did have very big highs, but when we think about their history, like they did very well in 2024 when they're playing that kind of slow double initiator style. I kind of want to go back and watch some of those games and feel like, did the kind of calling change from 2024 to 2025, or are they still trying to do double initiator things with this double duelist? And to me right now, my read is that like they're not, like, if you watch BBL play, they just send it at you. Like this meta is about sending it at you because you don't have the utility to, clear every corner. You don't have the utility to clear the whole map, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was noticing on Bind in particular, they were going pretty slow, but then would end up like late execing into where Navi always had 3 players anyway. And part of that is Navi perhaps having good reads, but it just felt like you're playing this slow and not getting much from it.
My takeaway was that there was one bullet point I had was just like readable question mark in all caps, like, and I didn't know if it was Navi doing well or like Heretics like being a bit readable, like, and I think that it was pretty readable.
Yeah.
Sliggy, are you
kind
panicking?
of-
Panic. Just go on. Tell
You want me
Heretics
to
fans
panic?
that it's over.
The only thing that like I find a little concerning is when I watched Comeback in Ascension, it was like a lot of op. He's kind of exactly what like Francis is doing at the moment in Nongshim, and maybe Nongshim is a good comparison for this team as well, because I feel like that would be his comfort, having an op or an outlaw and or a marshal as often as possible, scoped gun, but he's not playing the Euro role that would enable that. So I think personally I would have switched roles of Wu and Comeback, because I don't think Comeback is like the best selfless duelist to kind of make the space that we speak of, and he might be, but it might have to be like a Neon. So maybe that would be better. I don't know, man. I think it's just like a couple of people feel a little uncomfortable from what I can see, but we're also probably overreacting because Navi just looks so good. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. I agree with Minnie. I'm not super sold on the double duelist, but I think I put that down more to I would have swapped the roles. Like I would.
What
have
did you
him
think about that double
Yoru.
duelist last year? Like, did you think that it
As in
was
on
the perfect suit for
Gentlemates?
them?
Or
No, for Heretics.
the Heretics.
Yeah.
I mean, no, it didn't ever look good, to be fair. Like the duelists, I get why they did it though, because like when they were having the year before where they were like switching one player out every so often, like Wu had to do the duelist for like a tourney and stuff like that. It looked incredible, so it'd be like this should work, right? We got two cracked duelists, but it's not. It's like when I was talking, I compared some other teams earlier to Envy. Like sometimes when you play double duelist, you just got to send it, and I think they could benefit from that stuff. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure it fits the style. Like, it's what you're saying. It's like the style or like the comfort of the duelist. I need to have a mentalist. Like I need someone to go in who doesn't care. Like I need someone on my team in this current meta. If you play double duelist, that doesn't mind going 0-12 and just goes, bro, I got to the back of sight and everyone was looking at me.
I felt like Comeback was doing that last year though with Waylay. When I was watching him play Waylay, he was just like sending it back and stuff.
Sure. Yeah. But and that's probably why they've gone for this role now. But I would just look at why did people pick him up in the first place from Ascension? He's one of the best scoped players in EMEA. But that's my thing. But it's one game.
Well,
Navi are good.
It's one game. It's one game. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. I mean, looking at the next opponent, if they lose that one, they won't be fine. But let's move on. Oh, Jesus, do we have to talk about this team? Let's move on and talk about.
You feel like that
FUT.
about
Now,
every
I'm
team.
contractually obliged to not talk for the next couple of minutes, but you guys can have at it. Don't know what you thought of the yesterday Waylay, but you guys speak and I will be quiet.
Can I be honest? What were your if you ranked the league 1 to 12 before coming into this? Where did you put FUT? Because I had them like 11th, so I wasn't really surprised.
I had them 10th.
Didn't have.
And I only had them I had them 10th because Ulf have subs, so they should be 11th.
Yeah.
So to me, like, it's not that surprising. I don't think that it's really rough. Like, I don't think that the changes they made are necessarily upgrades. And I think that they lost their identity last year. And I see some new stuff for the new meta, I guess, but like, I don't really, it didn't look like I don't know, like it just didn't like we've been question marking FUT for a long time now in terms of like they were that gatekeeper 4th team.
Yeah.
And they've not grown with times, I feel like, in terms of like playing style.
Like,
and there's not firepower either, so
I have a big issue with their Abyss comp at the moment as well. So like teams that are playing Abyss, it's a very limited map. A lot of the time people are playing double duelists with like a double controller. You can smoke either sides of middle, you can fake a TP over towards mid, or maybe do a couple of rounds where like you actually take the TP with a Sova recon to create pressure, then you can hit over towards the sides. This comp can't do that really, because I have an all-in of a Waylay. Is the Waylay meant to go over towards middle and then exec over towards a site and the others are walking through choke points? Like, I don't really understand how this comp is meant to win attack rounds on Abyss personally. Like, I don't think it does anything on the map good. I mean, it actually does everything on the map shit, and there's nothing good that it can do.
Okay.
Like I
stop.
don't think the comp makes any
Can
sense.
stop.
I actually think this was the worst comp I saw in EMEA. I think they got a little bit countered by a double smoke, but I think as well, if you're playing a waylay and you don't have a flash to back it up, you've got that one all in, which might be needed to use to take over towards mid to create pressure. What's my second layer? I've got no flashes. Is someone just going to jump for a smoke and just hope that they land and someone whiffs on them? This comp doesn't work, so that worried me. And they had bad starts as well, so I think it's worse than it looks. But I don't think they'll beat anyone on Abyss with this comp, personally. And they picked it. So I don't know who's losing to that in prac, but
I mean, I think it's just an overwhelm. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to go deep dive into.
No, you
this
don't need
theory
to.
With
You don't
mid
need to,
control,
man.
but
Don't worry about
I think
it.
there's enough pressure you can create because you've got 2 drones, so you can use 1 drone for middle. You can smoke left side. You don't need to smoke the right side, and you could scale up with someone and create that pressure, and then you just all in and hit the site. So I don't think it's the worst comp I've ever seen.
Ellen Mini. Yeah, let's
Don't.
go.
But like, it's not. You know,
Fight.
I don't think there's synergy necessarily that
Oh.
good between. you just are you contractually obliged to try and like pump
don't
up
know.
any
I don't think
any
so.
slight
I don't think so.
positivity?
He hasn't
that
even
might
I
read
don't
his
think so, but I
contract.
think it's better if I just don't speak. If I
yeah,
speak,
maybe.
I think that there were lack of ideas in some points. Like I think that for some rounds they were literally just incredibly passive. As if they weren't even playing the round. They were like incredibly reactive in some of those slots. And I don't know how the rest of the year is going to look. I don't know how much Zeus is going to go into the operator, because at the end of the day, you're going into a league where this is going to be incredibly important with a player that doesn't like playing the snipers, and we're already seeing the damage that in positive, you know,
comeback on
how
foot.
much advantage other teams are taking. So TMB, I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I'm sorry.
it's one game. It's fine.
Have-
Don't
have
you
you-
worry.
I thought
worry.
about this the other day. FUT have a formation, like a football formation. It's called the 2-1-2. They just do it on defense. I think for the past 2 or 3 years, they just do a 2-1-2 every single round, and they'll just hard hold whichever site you come to. And I started watching the Abyss, thinking, wait, they do just do that. So I'm keeping track of this formation. It's called the FUT formation.
Okay.
Very simple rotates.
When did you think of this?
When I was watching Abyss.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay. Let's move
What's the
on.
joke?
Let's move on.
No,
Evan,
I just thought you said the other day, and I was like, I don't know if like you got in bed and you were thinking about the day. And
I
you were
was
like,
very
this is a
sick.
very
I
chill
had
one.
food poisoning, so I was fighting
Oh,
demons at the same time. So
You're doing a
Did
vision.
food give you food poisoning?
Yeah.
Did you have food poisoning? Sorry, that was very bad. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I said that out loud.
Let's
Yeah,
move
so-
on. Let's
Yes,
swiftly
please.
move on, and let's cleanse our palate and cleanse Minnie's insides. I don't know. With Gentle Mates. Gentle Mates. Holy Gentle Mates, they play my kind of Valorant. I as much as I was supporting FUT in that game, I just love the let's fast exec 5 rounds in a row and then fake the next 5 rounds and then do a double fake the next couple rounds. It just warms my soul. It was, well, apart from the fact that they were playing as but I just like the way that they play. I just like the way they play. And this team, I mean, Mini, we know, not you, Mini, but the other Mini is popping off. The other Mini's popping off now that he's not IGLing. Starkso came into Ascension and was the highest rated player whilst IGLing. He's still playing insanely well. This team is crazy. Kakuka, how high are you on this team? Are they going all the way? Are they beating
so.
Vitality and Navi and everyone?
I don't know if beating, but I like the ideas that they were bringing. I like that. I think that they're one of the teams that thought the most outside of the box. So I like that. I think that that could be a surprise. And they are currently, I would say, and considering that I already had Navi in my original list of making it to Santiago, I'd say that they could be the team that surprised us. And I think that a lot of people would agree with me.
yeah.
Because why not?
I mean, I think they already have kind of surprises to because it looks convincing. I mean, that's the thing as well. It looks convincing. They're doing their own comps. They're all fragging heavy, and I think at the moment this is one of the best fades I've seen at the moment when Starkso plays fade.
Glyph
I
is
mean,
also very good.
Yeah, his fade util is like really good right now, and his fragging's obviously backing it up. He's very smart with it as well. Like he's very, very smart. He loves like if there's a smoke, he loves a tether in front of the smoke to see if he can spam people and kind of use his info to like if he can go into smokes. A lot of changing up his fade eyes. It's rarely the same one. So I've been super impressed with Starkso, and his calling's good. And Mini's just incredible. Not this guy. Where is he? The good one.
It's like every
think you are
time,
incredible, Mini,
every
just
time
for
the
the
desk
record.
talks about him, I just
Yeah.
close my eyes and just pretend they're talking about me. It's just honestly the glaze, the difference between the way they speak about me and the way they speak about him is just like
It's
night and
crazy,
day.
isn't it? Yeah.
But yeah, I echo all these things. Like Starzo, to me, like I had written down, like unfortunately I wasn't there last week, but like Starzo to me, I was kind of like, this is like the dark horse team because Starzo comes in as someone who's played with these very contact style teams in the past, like the Send, and he's always wanted to play a kind of pretty simple game, and I think this is completely the meta for that. Like the teams that are successful in EMEA right now are mostly the teams playing a simple, kind of slightly more Apex style, where we're just like sending it, we're playing fast and aggressive, we haven't got much utility, so like let's just use that as our strength rather than our weakness. So I think that just like, I feel like these more complicated teams need to be looking at that and being like, well, why are they successful? Oh, it's because they're just simplifying things and just, you know.
The only thing that didn't like super do it for me was the bind. This is the sorry, like the quality isn't very good for me on this on the VMix on the thing that we're using. Is this the can we take a look at the bind versus GIANTX, please? Yeah, so that happened. They were defending without a composition that had anything like they had no damage to deal with utility, and GIANTX had a Sage, so they were like,
I was going crazy at this because I was like, when I saw that comp and I saw how Giants were playing and they were just running down short with a Sage wall, I was like, well, Starkso did this for literal years on Ascend.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the Ascend comp from back in the day that he was a part of. I was like, bro, how do you not know what they're about to do? You did it for literal years on end. But yeah, they couldn't stop it whatsoever. Sorry.
we'll
carry on.
learn things, but I remember going on the second half and being like, this is not done. And when they converted the bonus, I was like, yeah, we could just wrap up. I did not expect all those rounds in a row, but yeah.
Wait, so
Pretty
you're
impressive.
saying when it was 10-5, you were saying wrap it up, gentlemates are gonna win.
Yes, I have
That's
witnesses.
crazy. I was definitely the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, that's right.
Because I
When
was
it was
thinking,
done.
of course, when GIANTX were winning, I was thinking of like what to build for the desk, and I was like, that there's nothing they can do to this. Like they have no damage, they have no this, they have no that. Like the only thing that they could have is like mini snakebite or whatever. Like as you're saying, it's not the first time that we see the GIANTX comp, and it's not. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, and then on their defense as well, I wanted to praise like I think this team, like obviously Mini and Starzo are performing really well. And then they got the two duelists. And the two duelists, like they got two duelists who can pop off, but yeah, they're a bit quiet right now, I'd say. Like they're still not kind of taking over games. But like the way that I see them play, like on Defensive Pro, I remember seeing like they're very attentive of like, okay, the team's taken A side of the map, let's take the B long extremity. Like they'll push up. Like you see a lot of duelists who aren't smart enough to know when to push up versus a certain amount of control. And like I think just Martin and Bippo kind of just understand, they're winning, they're helping them win rounds in game through not stats as duelist, which is kind of sometimes hard to do or hard to kind of see or analyze. So yeah, I was quite impressed with both sides. Like the simple attack side, and then the defense seemed to have these kind of protocols in place to kind of gain advantage in information.
Yeah, they're drilled. They're definitely drilled.
I mean, I think that what I like the most is like now when I'm, checking out the games that we're going to have and stuff, I am incredibly excited to see a Gentlemates match. I'm like, oh, I really want to watch this. I really want to be a part of this, like this is a game I'm looking forward to. And that is a very good sign.
That is a good sign. Let's do slightly negative though about their opponents. Kakuka, another Spanish team, letting you down. GIANTX.
Listen, you didn't talk about FUT. Why are you doing this to me?
That's fair. Mini, GIANTX, lost. One wrong.
I mean, something. I think coming into this, we have to like it's a fun one where like expectations are obviously for GIANTX to win this, but like I think that realistically, I don't think they're going to have the same year they had last year in terms of they had. I feel like the honeymoon phase is over. And now they're back to reality, and they now need to just figure things out, I don't think they're bad by any means, but I think that it's like they're not on a high anymore, if that makes sense. They didn't get the off-season buff of making changes. They've got to kind of go through that whole period where most teams end up a little bit stagnant after that period. So yeah, so Aura before the end of last year, I feel like was being a bit coin flippy during stage 2, and he was coin flippy here. The biggest narrative for me was that I think he's a really good op player, and he didn't get a single op frag that entire game. He didn't get one op frag, and like in this meta and with how good he is, you can't be buying the op like 10 times not getting a frag. So I do think that Aura did have some problems there. I don't think he's like the reason they lost, but it certainly doesn't help he's minus 17, you know? So I wasn't super unimpressed, but it wasn't like... I feel like part of this is we need to realign expectations just slightly, and then Aura needs to get some op kills.
Yeah.
I mean, we did talk about it last year when we said like Hong Cold, as in when if Ara is not having a day, GIANTX struggles way too much to win. But to me, I think I went into 2026 thinking that GIANTX are going to have just the same year as last year, quote unquote, because I think that all things considered, the longer the year passes by and it takes a toll on the rest of the teams, GIANTX has the resilience that none of them have. I don't know how they do it, but they have an impeccable mental. So when everybody's like struggling, things are not working, you had this and then somebody else like destroyed your dreams even for a fraction of a second. For GIANTX, that doesn't matter. And the longer the year progresses, the stronger they get.
Yeah.
How do you know that? Like, what's the tangible?
That's the Spanish org.
Yes, because no, honestly, because I think I saw it in 2020. I can forget in the.
Is this like you're talking about like Pipson as a leader? Is like
sorry.
The Pipson and Cloud is like the leadership.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the way that I think is very similar to many in terms of expectations. We said that maybe they're losing their 2 best maps, and that was a big reason of their success last year. And so they definitely got to kind of work out what their home maps are. That might take a bit of time. So I think that's like a big part of it, because literally, if you look at kind of all their games, they would always win a Sunset, or they would win an Ascent, or sometimes both, and that's how they won most of their stuff. So with both of them out, I think this was always just a bad map pool for them, especially if they kept the same lineup. They gotta try and get better at some of these other maps. And then even in the clip that we literally just rolled there, it's like a little bit of uncomfort on some of these agents, like this Sage res there. You can play it again if you still have it up. Like, someone goes down, it's a Sage res, it's like 1v3 in this area, where a Sage, we don't wall up, we don't res, then wall up, and then one swings on the wall and one could go behind the wall and go aggro if you want to double swing it. Like, you got a wall here. Like, so they win out the first duel and then they go for the res. And to not wall here as a Sage is a little criminal. You res, wall, swing on top of the wall, or just wall then res, then swing on top. Like, you gotta...
That was greedy, right? Like, they just expect to know on the two there, right?
Yeah.
It's just so greedy.
Again.
You gotta go for that
Classic.
stuff. So yeah, there's a little bit of that as well. I think that my main point is just the map pools. We gotta, and maybe we didn't evaluate it enough, because we definitely spoke about the fact that they lost their 2 best maps. But I guess when you see it in reality, it's like, oh, okay. You actually looked at them on other maps, it like wasn't as comfy.
Okay, but no panic stations just yet. But let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's move on to... I don't even know what to think of this game, to be honest. Let's talk about Pacific. Their first debut game. This was a bit of a wild one against BBL, I want to say. Bit puggy, bit, you know.
It was
I mean,
fun.
I guess that's every BBL game, to be honest, by the looks of it. But yeah, the Pacific, you know, they won a map. Obviously, expectations not that high for this team. I don't think most people would have had them winning this game necessarily. You know, it's kind of been a bit of a thrown together roster, as far as I can tell. But is there at least some signs of hope, Sliggy?
I mean, I thought this was winnable, to be honest. Like, they definitely... I think they could have 2-0'd this, really. They just had, like, a very slow start on Breeze, for sure. Good takeaways is just the fact that Seven looks absolutely unbelievable. Like, that Abyss performance on the second map from him, it's just it's just so
That was
crazy.
crazy.
What did he say about
Just
EMEA?
together.
Region is... Did he say shit? Did he say this region is shit?
So easy,
Something like
I
that.
think he said.
Like in between, he got like a 4K or something. He said
Yeah.
no one can aim here, essentially. I mean, he proved it on that map, but then
Yeah,
they
no,
lost,
dude,
which feels bad.
He was out aiming everyone. So, I don't know, this team looks... this team's getting upsets, man. It's just who they beat. So I feel alright about it. They had such a slow start to their Breeze, and I think some of their Breeze theory could have been a little bit better, kind of I'm alright with the Astra Omen, but I don't think they're like playing to a lot of the strengths of it also. So they got some work. But
I didn't like them.
they're good.
Like,
didn't like
I
the
feel
Breeze?
like not playing Viper on Breeze is a game against humanity.
I
Um,
definitely always play the Viper, but they could have
think-
played it better, right? They
and then also like the Omen
You
right now.
should you should watch GIANTX KC in Game Changers after we're done with this. It's happening. I was watching the Breeze. You would not like it.
Yeah,
Just saying.
sound like I'm gonna
Sorry.
watch it then.
Intrusive thoughts.
you would hate it, yeah.
But you
Watch
would
it,
enjoy
you'll
it.
hate
Yeah,
it.
but
Go
because
and
he
ruin your
enjoys
day,
hate
Minnie.
watching.
Hey, you want a worse day?
True.
You feeling a
He
bit
enjoys
sick?
hate
Go
watching.
watch this. It makes yourself feel worse.
Because the Omen
Anyways.
is getting a bit more popular on EMEA because I think they won it for defense paranoias on A main.
Mm-hmm.
But then the weird thing was is that Pacific didn't condition any stars in A main. Like they just like if A main is a part of the map they want to fight for in defense, why are you not putting stars down aggressively to kind of help that fight? So I didn't watch very detailed, I'll be honest with you, but I just remember
That's
looking
fine.
at that thinking
You didn't
that
need
seems a bit
to. I
odd.
mean, this game was just pew 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 pew.
I mean, I
Pew,
think
pew,
the
pew.
elephant in the room for me is that Cena was not playing
Yes.
comfortable agents at all and didn't play very well.
Yeah.
So they could just put him on Jet, honestly, on some of these maps. I don't think it's that big a deal.
Why not? Why not? I say. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to their opponents because there is a lot more to talk about. I think with BBL, if they had just beaten Pacific and lost to FNATIC 2-0, we probably wouldn't be that excited. But they didn't, did they? They went and beat Pacific and then came up against FNATIC and gave them a right old slap on the bottom. So how the hell did that? I did the Sikakuka with the Spanish team. So Minnie, I'm going to start with you. How the hell did this happen?
Breeze happened. It felt like
Sage on Breeze? What? Well, you're a fan of Viper on Breeze. What about Sage on Breeze?
Sage isn't awful, but the fact that Alpha, like, it feels like Alpha Gear had a year now where it's like, okay, Chronicles left. I am now like this team is now for firepower. It's Kayak Alpha you're looking at. Like, you want these two to be fucking destroying people, you know?
Yeah.
And Alfia's had to play Sage Killjoy in the series and get smurfed on by his little Turkish brethren, who's now just laughing at him. And so, like, I feel like FNATIC should just be putting Alpha, like, put Alpha on Chamber right here. Like, I don't know. But again, they sort of on attack side, so I think realistically, well, I mean, Jet would be. Anyway, so I think realistically on attack side, it just felt like it did get a bit snowbally for BBL. Like, they got the op out quick, and then FNATIC couldn't really deal with it. But FNATIC are playing this slow style most of the time. But then they did have some fast rounds. But the problem with the fast rounds is they kept splitting with a composition that doesn't have tons of utility to facilitate those splits. So I feel like it's just keeping it simple. If they'd be rushed a few times, like, they probably would have closed this game out. Like, it's not that complicated in my opinion.
What about Haven?
Haven disaster. Like, honestly, watch how Lovers Rock, like,
In the same
absolutely
pick?
destroyed them. Like,
Every single round. Like, I would close my eyes and I would see him getting the same pick on Alpha on A, and I'll be like, please
He's in a
stop.
smoke. The
Please
dog comes,
stop."
pings twice. He peeks out.
it was
he
like
kills him.
he
He goes back.
like FNATIC on Haven. I quite like the kind of style they have the Viper, but like honestly, they would. It just felt like Lovers Rock was just like avoiding recons and just able to just get a free kill like every single round. It was just like it's a really good footage for both to watch back because it's just like you could see like the flaw. They just highlighted all the flaws and all the micro and stuff. So yeah, this was just a massive class from BBL, honestly. I do think that this is the kind of game though where like I keep saying like this meta, like BBL, like both are called BBL, the paper X of EMEA. Like to me that makes sense. Like BBL are this like aggressive, high firepower team, and this meta is like a PRX meta. Like there is less utility. There's more emphasis on operators. There's more emphasis on just shooting. Why are we trying to like complicate? Just shoot some people. You know what I mean? So I think that FNATIC playing against this team, I don't think they're going to download that information straight away, but like I hope they reflect on maybe some of the implications about the meta by playing literally the best team in EMEA for this meta.
Yeah.
Well, can I just bring up, Minnie, a point there that you're saying? Because you're saying that, in essence, like the way this team is built now, you know, if you're just saying just go around, run around and shoot people, then there's really, you know, we're looking at two players to do that. Who, I mean, I would say, are Alfia and Kayak going to have as bad a performance as they perhaps did, particularly here on Haven? I would say that's unlikely. Maybe you can disagree if you want to be a hater, but I agree. I think they've got to look at those two players and be like, we got to just get these guys in positions where they can just carry us to to victories over and over again. But let's talk more about FNATIC in general. Sliggy, your opinion on them? Are you worried at all?
No, I'm not worried. It's just a slow start. Like I came out of this thinking the BBL looked great. Like I liked a lot of how they use, especially the 40 piece from the Yoru, like 2 on Yoru, 2 on Omen, like getting the info every single time over towards middle. I thought that was awesome. Like they played such a proactive game over towards mid and B on their defense. The only thing that worried me was like how slow FNATIC were to shut down the mid pushes, like just swing window. Like literally just swing window and just duel. They keep pushing down mid. They always have info. So that like worried me a little bit. But other than that, I wasn't too. I just came out of it thinking, man, BBL looked great, and FNATIC maybe just needs to play a little looser. Basically, where I'm at, because I just want them to swing middle. They give up so much space. It's like they were scared of the Angels, and. Yeah. I mean, I get it against BBL because they have got some aimers.
Was shooting and LaRock was shooting, I'd be scared too.
LaRock played so well.
I think when operator economy gets out against FNATIC, it's always been something that even when I was coaching, it was something we almost got so scared of it. It's almost like in this meta, some of the coaching needs to now be, how do you trade against an upper? Like, how do you actually peak as a duo or a trio? Like, I never coached like that. I never was to be like telling Leo and Alf, like these players, how to actually do that stuff, because I didn't bother. But like, I think in this meta, it's now like way more important to kind of, you know, how do you actually take those duels and fights together? Like, look at PaperX and actually see how they take those fights so naturally, and actually try and use some of that. Because again, it's just like, it's such an aggressive meta in my opinion.
Yeah, okay. Ops dominates so much, and Lovers Rock's a beast, man. So yeah, I agree.
But I think Lovers Rock is a great example of some of the other teams we've talked about, where it's like, they just put an op in his hands. They just go, here's a scope weapon. Go and win, you know, because you're good at it. And
I mean, that could be a comeback in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a lesson maybe for some of the teams who struggled. But let's move on. Maybe not for too long about this one, because Ulf
you keep saying that about every single team.
I mean, what do you want me to say about Ulf, bro? They're playing with 2 subs. They got obliterated. Got a cuckoo then. Go on, give me the positives for Ulf in their game.
I know. I struggled a lot with this match. Seriously, I struggled so much watching this. I do like the fact that Vitality took it 100% seriously. Like, they respected them as an opponent from beginning to end. But it wasn't funny. It got to a point where it wasn't funny. I was not, because I am sitting on the desk and I say, it's a 13-3. It's a 13-3. Derke has sat on them. He has. O sea, Derke, o sea, we should ban Derke from playing the op on Breeze on B. It's not fair. It's not fair. There is a mini, teach me how to deal with Derke on, please.
So basically, my takeaway from this game was that, you know, I worked the Ascension and watched Ulf, and I was really I really enjoyed watching Ulf play in Ascension. Like, they were, when I talk about a BBL being aggressive, Ulf made them look like FNATIC. Like, Ulf were fast. Like, they were just sending it 4-1, 5-0 every single round. And they've now lost Sop and Echo until stage 1, I believe. And I think Sop was probably the spearhead of that fast play style. Against Vitality on Breeze, they are just like solo scaling against Durka with an operator. And Durka's just gobbling him up like he's Pac-Man. Like, he's not even having to try. Like, I've never seen an easier game for Durka in my life. But if Ulf are able to actually play the style they're good at, they can look a lot better than this. But obviously, that style was predicated on the fact that Sop is, in my opinion, one of the best duelists in the EMEA. Like, he's that good.
Okay.
Yes, but they won more rounds in the skirmish before the game than in the game. So my heart is broken.
I just don't know why they played so slow and like.
Yeah, they were a little slow.
Contacty.
It seriously looked like they were scared. Like, I would be scared if that was my first day.
Yeah, it's a tough first match. It's a very tough first match. But we don't
just
need to
gotta
talk
wait
about Ulf for too long.
Yeah, we just gotta wait till they get their players back.
Yeah. Oh, they got Heretics next, by the way, which could be rough. Anyway. Could be easy win, though. We'll see. Anyway, Vitality, their opponents. Obviously, we've spoke there about the Ulf game and how they destroyed them, particularly Durka. They then played against Team Liquid, though, in a much closer game, but still did come out of it. The question here is, does Team Vitality have the ultimate bold buff? My chat has started making a joke about Def Durka. versus other players. For some reason, someone randomly asked me, would I rather have Def Durka, as in Durka, but you can't hear anything, or Jip Boys? This was during a random EMEA game, and I was like, what the hell? Why the hell are you asking me Def Durka or Jip Boys? But now, anytime anyone makes a mistake, it's just Def Durka. Def Durka has become this legend player who can't hear anything, but is the best player in the world. But anyway, tangent aside, they managed to beat Team Liquid in a very close, hard-fought game. Again, Durka had a pretty good game overall. Let's start on the Vitality side of this. After watching this and seeing them get a challenge, Kakuka.
I'm thinking because it has been a very long week for me because I
haven't
worked
even
every
asked you a
day.
question yet,
and
so
this is like the last game we had, right? No,
Okay.
I'm like going in my head because I
Oh,
watched
what
a
happened
lot
in
of
this game?
NBA.
It was
So
a
I was
very
like-
close, 2-1. Well, I mean, what were the scores in this game? Hold on, I'll get them up. They won 13-11 on Breeze, 14-12 to Team Liquid on Pearl, and then a 13-9 on Corrode. So it was very close throughout.
I remember Miniboo not really shining on map 1, then tuning in for map 2, which is good. Cool. Q, we like that.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you remember this game? Should I go to sleep?
no,
Can you
no,
remember this
should
game?
not.
I-
Really, because
I-
I
Does
don't
anyone have
remember.
any recollection
Like,
of this
Sliggy,
game?
They will say something and it will get back to my mind, but it's not there
Okay.
right now.
Sliggy?
My main takeaway from this was, first of all, I was impressed with Liquid because I didn't think it would be as close as this. But I thought the Yumpie's calling was good. Obviously, I have a bit of a bias for the Yumpie. I like him a lot, but I actually think like especially on Corrode, when it kind of got a bit to crunch time, he had a couple of like nice rounds where, dude, you rarely see teams that are willing to like 3-person walk on attack over towards middle. Like on a big round, they had 3-person flank all the way through mid, over towards B. So I think that his calling is very good. The firepower is great. It's so nice to see Durka in the team again, and we kind of forgot about this, where he actually can send it into a site and he has backup within the next second or 2 seconds instead of the 6 seconds that we kind of saw from the previous Vitality. So the actual system is very good for setting it up. And I think Unfake is doing great, to be honest, in terms of the stand-in as well. It's just like fragging heavy. The vibes look good. Got a lot of faith in this team, not collapsing like last year and actually doing a lot and being able to survive the year and probably win something, whether it's just regional, I would imagine.
I mean, they should be favorites, I would argue, now for Kickoff.
Yeah.
They should be favorites for this.
Yeah.
I do want to ask you, Minnie, as well. Did Durka ever ask you to play Phoenix? Because they brought out the Corrode
No.
Durka Phoenix. Was that ever something that was on your radar?
No. I think he
No?
will be playing Yoru when Sayo's back, but
Okay.
it looks like Sayo, like they've just swapped in some
Yeah.
instances. I feel like. So,
Yeah, they're making
no,
it easy for
he's
Unfake,
not.
right?
He's not a Phoenix player. But doing okay, I guess. For me, the
I actually
takeaway.
think Derek gonna go back on Sova when Sayo comes along.
Yeah.
I mean, Doma was good back then on the raids, man. Doma was good. Anyway, Breeze. I feel like Vitality's theory on Breeze is pretty good, and I was surprised Liquid got it that close. Like, I think Vitality, like on A main specifically, I think like EMEA is really understanding the map, which is nice to see. I quite like that. Pearl, honestly, EMEA are not good at Pearl, and they still aren't. Both teams are not good at Pearl. I don't think Liquid should be picking that map. It's not good and pretty to watch. Happy to dissect that one day on broadcast, maybe. Corrode, Vitality are good on Corrode, but like we're looking at this team as like the best team in EMEA potentially. I feel like Americas would probably do quite well against them on Corrode right now. So the takeaway from me was like I'm looking at this game both from the head to head, but also like going forward, I guess. So Vitality, a few things to figure out. The other thing I was a bit concerned about was Breeze and Corrode are maps that Vitality really like. They're able to get both of those maps in, and it was still like a battle-scarred result, if that makes sense. So yeah, I thought it was a good result, but at the same time, like there's stuff to look at, stuff to fix. Planting the seeds of like maybe there's some issues, but
Okay.
But
Yeah,
I
the
think there's
sub,
always,
I don't know.
I think there's always going to be like slight issues if you have multiple players going off of roles to make the
True.
stand-in comfy. So I think that's kind of expected.
And also, how much do they give to the fact that it was the first time the Team Liquid was playing, and you don't really know what you can expect from them? Almost anything, because also like Wayne not playing, Kicks playing. I like to see that Kicks had a good day, but
I think that's really relevant to Pearl, because I think if Power and Yampi had seen the way that Team Liquid are playing that Pearl, like they would dissect it. if like being able to watch the VOD back, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
I would agree.
Well, let's just quickly talk about the Team Liquid side. Leggy, I mean, you're the resident Team Liquid man. Obviously, this was the first. They were playing with a stand-in, but it's not quite the same as Vitality, where Kicks was kind of being more of a 1-to-1, I guess. But what did you think? Obviously, this is quite, I mean, for people who haven't been keeping up, this is a very new roster, right? Like, you got Miniboo in there, you got Purpo, you know, Kicks was subbing in for Wayne. It's, you know, just Nats and Camo left. Camo's changed roles from last year. You know, Nats was still having some nice moments. But what was your overall first impression?
Overall, first impression is, mate, if they didn't get eco twice, they probably win this. that was my main takeaway. Is like, man, I really want them to clean up. Again, people have designated eco farmers at the moment, like outlaw stuff. I really just want them to kind of lean into that. Surely, I've seen Miniboo of a Marshall, man. I think we can kind of make our anti-ecos a lot better with him, like scouting out, and make it a little bit safer for him in terms of the angles that they want to go and scout out. So when they anti-ecos to get a little better. Other than that, I was pretty impressed, man. I didn't think they would look this good. I was actually gonna be thinking that they would struggle a little bit in kickoff. I think Kicks is a very good stand-in for them as well. But Camo looks great on the initiator. His fragging's kind of just the same as when he was on Duelist as well. I guess my only like concern would be Purpo Miniboo consistency. That's it, and that's been something that we've spoken about. That's not really a Team Liquid thing. That's just like these two players over the past 2-3 years. So, yeah, I think especially if we're giving Purpo a lot of comfort on the roles, I want to see him performing better. That's pretty much where I stand. But overall takeaways, man, the reason that we kind of rate the coaches and Nats so highly was proven here, I feel like, because this was pretty good.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I feel like expectations for Team Liquid this year have to decrease with the roster changes, to be honest with you. So it's nice to see that, like Siggy said, like
said that at the start of last year though, Mini, as well.
That's true, but then we didn't know Kiko was going to become the best player in the world, so it's a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think
Wayne is still yet to make his debut.
Yeah.
Wait, who? Wayne. Okay.
Wayne.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Who?
I didn't hear what TMB said.
He's in a pure fog haze.
Honestly, I am. Like, I slept for I was in bed for 3 days straight, and I'm not going to go into detail, but it wasn't good.
It sounds like you want to, though.
No, not really. I don't think anyone's going to listen to my no. Anyway, so the issue for me long term with this team is star quality. Like, to me, Nats is the one that will be taking over games, and he's the IGL. Purpo and Miniboo have very high ceilings, but haven't. Miniboo did it at times last year. Purpo's never lived up to the expectations that we've had over EMEA's history. Like, he's the kind of player that me and Sticky would have probably played against at certain points in scrims and stuff, and he just dominates you. But had a bit of a tricky season, tricky career in Tier 1. So I feel like for this team, if they are going to get up to that level, or push for these global events, or go into global events looking good, it's going to have to be for the players kind of like stepping up and becoming more executive time.
Okay. Well, when Wayne becomes the best player in the world, I will let you know.
I think Wayne is good, by the way. I think Wayne is good.
No, yeah, I'm high on Wayne. We'll see. He's playing in the next game, right, Sliggy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be.
So
he should be.
That was just a one-off thing. So with that in mind, let's move on to our predictions for EMEA Week 2. And we're going to start off with Sliggy's Team Liquid against Karmine Corp. Does anyone? We're good, right? We can do the Preds. We're not going to run into a situation like last time. No, we're here. KC versus Liquid. Has anyone done it? Yeah. No. We've all believed in Team Liquid. Is there some danger? Was it? What if Karmine Corp are? What if it was just a blip?
What if
Wayne
is
give me
not
the
good?
hope.
What if Wayne is not good?
Yeah.
What if Avis just like what if Haven doesn't happen? what if Haven doesn't happen? Seriously.
Is this a risky guarantee?
It's a little bit. Slightly, it's so early
I think
on,
so, because
right?
we've only like we've seen so little, no? Like,
yeah.
Anything could happen. Maybe two people were having a terrible day and that doesn't happen again. Maybe, as Gordon Ramsay says, you have to bounce back. If you manage to bounce back, everything else before doesn't matter.
Gordon
I
Ramsay.
didn't know
is in
Gordon, I
this?
didn't know Gordon
Context is Gordon
Ramsay was
Ramsay.
spitting
Listen,
facts like that.
I am addicted to Hell's Kitchen. I love everything Hell's Kitchen related, and I love Gordon Ramsay. I go by what he says, and it's that you have to bounce back. That is the only thing that matters. You have to bounce back. So, and in case he can do it, it's still soon. They have 2 other knives. You know, they
I'm
can
not,
do
I'm
it.
not, I'm not doubting that. I just think that probably someone before Gordon Ramsay said you have to bounce.
I don't care, because to that person, I don't pay attention to, and I do not listen, because they are not Gordon freaking Ramsay. That's all I say.
Didn't expect we go here, but okay.
You told me to
We
give
all
you some
picked it.
hope. I tried to give you some hope.
Wait, but you
so
said they
can
have to bounce back, but you haven't picked them, so you don't think they will bounce back.
I don't think so, but you told me to give you hope. A ver, you didn't
they-
tell me to change my prediction. You told me to give you hope.
They haven't watched enough Gordon Ramsay, mate. They don't know about the
I'll
quote.
we'll be sure to get on the phone to Eng and tell him to get Hell's Kitchen on. I'm sure he'll.
Kitchen Nightmares is the better show.
Yeah, Kitchen Nightmares. Yeah, I think that is a better show. Anyway, let's move on to our next game. Oh, there will be a match of the week. It's got match of the week question mark on this. This is not the match of the week. I'll tell you the match of the week later. The match of the week is gonna be Navi Mates, I think.
Ooh,
That's my
yeah.
match of the week.
That's a good match of the week. What's
That's
the
my
actu-
match of
What's
the
the other
week.
match of the week?
This was this is a match of the week. I mean, let's move on.
This is meant to be match of the week.
No. I'm
No?
I'm
Okay.
making an executive decision. In fact, I'm going to put it in the show notes right now in all caps. This is the match of the week.
Vitality BBL.
Is that
surely.
record for this year?
Vitality BBL. No, I'm saying
Yeah,
Navi Mates.
we're 5-2. That's not too bad, right?
Pretty good.
We've done plenty.
5-2
worse.
is all right. That's not a terrible start. And this
I know.
one,
We got some
based
good ones
on-
this
I mean,
week as well, I think.
you know.
So TMV, why don't you give me some hope on FUT?
Well, I've been watching a ton of history documentaries.
Got a good
and-
quote for us.
The penguin that goes for the mountains.
And if FUT can relive the spark of the Ottoman Empire of the late, 18th century, then maybe, they've got a chance. That's about it.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to make the reference with the penguin.
What do you want me to say? Let's move on. Pacific versus Giants.
That's a
we don't
good-
need to
that
spend
is
any
good.
time talking about this game. I'm
Werner
worried.
Herzog.
Whoa! Of all the people to predict,
Against the Spanish org.
Kakuka.
Wow.
Why?
Because I had two things. One, I had a hunch that you guys were going to go for GIANTX, and I do think that anything could happen with these two teams. And I do not think this should be a guarantee. I think that they could still surprise us. I think that firepower-wise, they're very freaking good.
Can I just? So is this you being high on Pacific, not low on Giants, or a bit of both?
I think it's me acknowledging that if this match were to be played 60 times, I think it wouldn't, GIANTX wouldn't get to 45 wins. So that to me is enough.
So they're
Dude,
so
why
they're,
did you
si-
go-
The Pacific
so
can
they're
do
like
it.
they're
And I
like
think the Pacific will have a better match.
so they're 60% favorites, but you bet against them.
Yes.
Why did you pick 60 games?
60
They
games is a
played
rough one.
60
Because
times.
I choose the way my brain works. Why do you have to? No, why don't you go to? Why don't
And then
you
you're
go
like
to
doing the
the
maths
UK
in your
or
head.
to
60
Americas
games,
and you
they would
ask
need to
them
win
about
about
their system,
45.
what's it called, their metric system? Why didn't you ask about that? About how 6 foot is that doesn't make sense either, and that works. Why can my 60? Why can my 45 out of 60 work?
It does. It's 3/4. I'm with you. But 3/4 seems
now you
high.
see it, eh?
3/4
Now you see
would
it.
normally be like a pick the Giants. Anyway,
75%.
It's a high percent, but yeah.
That's a
right. We're all us three are picking Giants.
Okay, why
Are we feel
is
good about our
GIANTX going
Giants
to
pick?
win? Why is GIANTX going to win?
Mini, why are Giants gonna win?
they're just better.
Cheers.
no, that's just
Sliggy,
dumb.
why are Giants gonna win?
I think it's gonna be close, but I just think that they should be better. I think Pacific will take some time to start getting upsets.
Okay, thank you
That's
all for that. Let's
Okay, so
move
we
on.
have,
Let's move on.
I do, it's-
75% on
it's not
GIANTX
a-
and 25% on Pacific. Bro,
Yeah, no, dude, it's not a bad thing.
That's pretty good.
That's
That's pretty
a
good.
That's a
I like this.
Yeah. Nice way of putting it. Let's move on to our next game, which is ULF versus Team Heretics. We might want to smile for this one.
You gotta move
I
on.
refuse to smile.
You refuse to smile.
Yeah.
Refuse to smile. Never gonna be happy.
Chances
Why'd you-
in this one, Kukuka, if they played 81
Oh, yeah,
times.
Yeah, out of 60 games.
If Heretics lose this game,
It's not my,
Weber
it's
and
not my
they'll
fault you
get
can't
flamed.
count.
If Heretics lose, no, you are right, Dominic. That's a good point. If Heretics lose this game, the alarm bells will be
Yeah.
ringing everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I think if anyone loses to Ulf at the moment, to be honest.
Man, that's a rough takedown of Ulf. If anyone lost to them,
They're
it'd
gonna
be
be. They're
Well,
gonna
they
come
have the
back stage one
stand-ins, for
so
sure.
good though.
Mm.
Like that's.
Oh yeah, no,
Sop is-
but when they get to their players,
have you
and-
watched Sop
Mm.
play? Like
Yeah,
how
yeah, yeah.
good he is. Like it's
but,
just so
but
unfortunate.
we gotta wait.
Let's
3
change the
months or
law
so,
in,
right?
in Germany to allow child labor, and then Sop can play in.
Okay.
Mm.
Is this for another side plot that you have planned, or is this literally
Mm.
for the team?
There might
That's the
be
excuse
profitable
he's using.
reasons,
Crazy
but
behavior.
let the kids work. Sop wants to play.
Okay, you might you might want to tone it down. Let the kids work. He's gonna send them back to the mines. I don't think there's too much to say about this game, to be
Nah,
honest.
man,
So I
let's
think
move
let's
on.
move on to what I'm calling the match of the week. Sorry, Minnie. This is my match of the week. It's NAVI versus Gentle Mates. Where have we gone? Oh, thank God
for
it's
that.
not a guarantee. Thank
Yeah, I was
God.
worried.
Okay, so Mika, Kuka, Sliggy all going Navi. Why, Minnie, have you gone? Is it because Minnie is on their team and you're hoping for more praise when you close your eyes?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think that Mates. I really liked just the way they played. To be honest with you, I think that Navi arguably have better firepower, like more consistently high firepower with Hero and Ruxic. But then I guess Mini and Stars have been popping off. I didn't get to watch Mates to the degree in which I would like to watch the other teams because again, demons fighting them. But what I did watch, I was like, oh my God, this is a team that I could actually like watch and kind of actually draw stuff on the mini map when I VOD review, and it actually
Makes
is
sense.
kind of making sense and would explain things.
No, it's true
And
though.
that's quite rare sometimes in VCT.
Especially Yoru stuff, like Yoru defensive
Exactly, yeah.
macro it makes so much sense. I watch this team, and again, I think I have like 4 or 5 teams that understand the macro Yoru out of however many teams we've got at the moment. That's not good. That's like 10%. And Gentlemates are now in there. I think it's like 5 teams. Their defensive macro with the Yoru is really good. If you look at their TPs, they've always got a strong side, pretty much to every hit. And they also mix it up. Like sometimes they save TP so they can do it late game. They're a good team, man. This was a hot pick for me. I've only gone for Navi because I think they're so good at snowballing.
I think Navi are the favorites, but it's just like I have this. Like, this is the first time on Plat I've had that weird feeling, and let's just see where it goes.
Mhm.
Let's see how I feel after.
I don't know. It's just the way you said it. Just like you're a little kid, like, you know, just finally feeling something. Maybe it's
Yeah,
the
this
demons
is
of God
fun
to you.
for
I don't
me.
know. Like what? Normally you're just here on Plat Chat. You just fucking rubber
Yeah,
stamp.
usually it's like robotic. Like when I was on the taxi
FNATIC win.
picking the predictions, and I was like boring, and this one sparked a little bit of joy. So yeah, let's see if I.
Wonderful.
You know.
Wonderful. Kukuka, anything to add?
I think it's very fair. I think we should also be concerned if Martin had been playing Euro for almost 4 years and he didn't know how to play it. So it's good that they do know how to. So it's I think that this is good fun for him, and I agree with you, TMV. This will be the match of the week. This should be incredibly entertaining to watch.
Okay.
In all levels.
And let's move on to our final game then, which also could be very entertaining. It's BBL versus Vitality.
Oh, that's a rough one from us.
A guarantee of Vitality. Is this a revenge game for the coaching staff and Yampi? Does it count as a revenge game?
From what?
I think it was more
So
revenge.
they were on
against Liquid,
BBL, you might remember.
the other
Sliggy.
day
Yampi,
than against
Prophet,
BBL.
the
no?
coaching staff.
Okay,
They were all on
I get what
BBL.
you're saying. They're on that org.
I mean, they
Sure.
didn't get kicked from the org.
Yeah, I know. Does
Yeah.
it count as a revenge game if
No,
you
not
kind of
really.
upgrade?
There's a lot of story here, though. I don't think it's a.
But we've all gone Vitality.
Don't
Sliggy,
feel
percent chance?
60-40, man. Not much.
Okay,
Like,
so
I
you're not,
think
you're not
I'm-
super happy with the guarantee.
I think I'm probably doing BBL a disservice by giving them 40 as well, really. But
Okay.
they looked so good against Fnatic. But I can't imagine that Vitality will shy away from the duels as much as Fnatic did.
No, yeah.
And they should be
Good
able to
point.
kind of go. I mean, Fnatic should also be able to go like 1-for-1s, but I just rate Vitality a little higher.
I think this
I
is
think
like the
this-
old guard versus the new guard kind of vibes. You know, like we have very experienced drill players on one side, the super team that we have been promised in Vitality, and that has had a very good showing on week 1. But we also have a BBL that we knew was going to be good, but it's kind of like rampaging. Across some very good teams. So yeah, I do agree with Sliggy here.
This is our worst. This is our worst guarantee so far, I think, this week.
Worst
Okay.
guarantee, says Sliggy.
Yeah, I think so.
I almost backed Joy here. I almost did.
You almost did, but not.
Yeah.
Why not?
Derek.
Don't believe in BBL enough,
Okay.
maybe?
Why did
Okay.
it you, TMV?
Yeah, I just think Vitality are a bit of a better team. I think BBL, it's kind of interesting because I actually came away from the first game they played against Pacific and was like, okay, they can probably beat like the bottom teams, but I was still a bit concerned. Then they beat FNATIC and I was like, okay, like, and the Haven was really good. But I don't know, maybe I'm still a doubter. Maybe I'm just a
I mean, we
Debbie
all are,
Downer
apparently.
on
Yeah.
BBL. Maybe I am in real life all the time. Maybe that's just who I am. Anyway, speaking of that, it's time for me to go. And it's time for Kakuka to go. And it's time for Minnie to go. And it's time for Sliggy to carry on this wayward journey. With,
Where you going, Sliggy? What's next?
We'll do
Yeah,
a
little
break first.
Put
Oh,
America's, mate.
look who's getting on the show. It's Shyo Wager, Athena, and Kurt is back.
Wait, Kurt's here?
Kurt, it says here, is the host. He's gonna host
Wait,
this
that's
thing
awesome.
with his mustache and everything.
There's no way I'm missing this.
Hey, stay on. Hold on, we could do all of us.
8 people. Well, 7 people. No, it's time to go. So we're gonna take a break. Let's throw it to break. Many thank you, Kakuka. Thank you,
Thank
me.
you guys.
Thank you for
Thank you,
having me.
Sliggy. Enjoy the rest of the show, Sliggy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Can we get a ka-chow, Kukuka?
Ciao.
Thank you.
Can we get some Japanese, Minnie?
I will get cancelled, I think.
Okay, goodbye, guys. Hello, Kurt. Have fun.
See you guys.
Hello, viewers. How are you? Let me load the YouTube chat so I can see viewers. Oh, I just realized. Yo, what's up, Shyo?
Yo, what's goody?
What's up, Myrna?
Hey! Holy smokes, it's so loud.
It's banging.
I think Sarko is using the restroom right now. Just probably clicked the YouTube video and went away. But we can enjoy this for now.
What am I listening to?
POV, we're watching the Crew Envy game. Holy.
Oh no.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
The music's a little loud, but we're
No, it's okay.
jamming. We're jolly and jamming.
Yeah, that's nice.
Hello,
Is this
Shyo.
one of your
Hi,
favorite
Sliggy.
songs, Sliggy?
Yeah, it's up there.
Nice.
Wait, Shyo, are you casting?
I am casting it. Yeah, I got. In the span of 10 minutes, you know what? I'll wait for the episode to start. I got something to say.
Okay, I got you.
I got something to say.
All right, I'll give you the floor to start off. Shyo Wager.
I might need the ceiling too, Kurt. You gotta get a contract out. This is crazy.
I don't know if we can afford that in the Plat compound.
That's crazy. We need 100,000 more members, please.
Yeah, if you want to become a member, just do it.
Just
Still
do
think-
it.
Cheers, my friends. Shyo, you need to turn your camera on, but I'll give you the floor.
Oh, doing a bit.
Sliggy!
Oh,
Help
God.
me, Sliggy! I'm trapped, Sliggy. There's too many games to watch, Sleggy. How do you do it? Do you have room in Iceland? Where do I go? I have to cast VCL. Pacific is 2-hour difference from NA ending because C9 has a super overtime, even though there were no Pacific games today. Sleggy, help me, Sleggy. I'm trapped. Please.
I don't know what my part in this is meant to be, man.
Dude,
like,
how
what do you want from
wait,
me?
What is this? I tried the 4-on-4 sleep schedule. I'm fucking suffering. I'm like waning in the games. Like Nags is getting dashed on by a duelist. He has no idea how to turn. Dude, how do I? How? Please. It's
Why are you
crazy.
black and white?
What
How
bit
did
did
that
you find
happen?
the
Like
Oh,
hardest?
you're
prison
good.
realm, kind of. You know. Yeah,
it's for
sorry.
the bit. What bit are you
Hey.
struggling the most with? The Pacific Americas.
I think I'm struggling the most with like America's game 1. If it goes to a map 3, like what is the? Is there yoga? Like, do you just take a break? Like, what's the?
You got to walk around in between, man.
Damn. True.
You
All
got
right.
you got to walk around in the maps. Just get out of there. Just go walk around wherever you are.
All right, viewers. Welcome Shyo, welcome me, and welcome Athena, our newest member of the Plat Chat Cinematic
Hey.
Universe.
Yo.
How you doing, Athena?
Really bad. Did you see
Oh,
what
boy.
happened last night? That was crazy.
Oh, we were there.
How
We
did
were all
you-
there.
Dude, I don't even know how you're functioning, Kurt, because you've been up for a minute now.
Yeah, we had some stuff behind the scenes as well with Plat Chat to
Oh,
organize,
fun.
but you know what? That's just how things are in esports. You know how it is. But you know what? I think we're doing a great job with America so far. Let's just start with the first match. Get right into it. I want to speak on Loud more than 100 Thieves in this first match because we'll talk 100 Thieves later in their matches. Loud, you know, lose again versus 100 Thieves, 1-2. I don't know what to think about this roster, man. I the first thing I thought was like, how many games has Luxo won in VCT? Can you guys answer that question? Because I looked it up and I was like, my heart just went into my stomach. I'm like, this guy's
He's got-
way too good.
He's got one, right?
1, yeah.
He has
It is
one
one.
win in
I feel
VCT.
so bad
Yeah.
for him.
I think it's the first day of stage 2 where like he had that icebox game where he was like a demon, and then everybody swapped him on VFL, and the team never won another game until even now.
Yeah, it's a little rough, but they don't help themselves. I was when I was watching Bind, it got to Bind, right? I was watching Bind and I was like started realizing that I was seeing no fade eyes. I'm like, dude, where are these fade eyes? Like, why is there no fade eyes? And I was strictly on fade eye watch. I would circle it at the beginning of the rounds. We're using one fade eye round, like it doesn't regen. So it's like we've nerfed ourselves to an extra level, like put an extra minute on the timer from Wyatt here. And we're using it at like 40 seconds, so it's not even going to be up most likely for if they're retaking as well. So for our defaults, we're using Prowlers, we're using like the Teo drone, but we're not using the one bit of regen. And it's just like, I don't really think these defaults make much sense with what I'm watching. So I think they're just playing the game on hard mode. And I can't believe no one's said anything within the team. Like, why is it like this? When you draw up a default and that's your default, someone's going to speak up and be like, mate, this is shit. Like, we have to use the regen util. Like, the person designing the strats doesn't know what they're doing. And Akauzin's played for quite a long time now. Surely he's got to be vocal and be like, mate, I'm using a fade eye once around max, sometimes not at all. Really bad. They don't help themselves. They're playing the
Who's
hard
the
mode.
vocal leader on this team? Like, who's the IGL?
Pancata, right, on Loud?
Pancata's IG.
Pancada, yeah.
I thought it was gonna be Birdie. Sorry, Darker, but
That's
It
what
was
I had, Jay, at the
Pancata.
beginning. Yeah.
yeah, that was me gaslighting everyone, by the way. I thought it was
okay, well-
Darker and I said it on broadcast and everyone's like, actually it's not. But I will say their breeze wasn't awful. I actually thought like their macros on breeze was pretty good. On their defense side, they were actually like actively retaking space whenever they lost any amount of pressure on the map. And I felt like their rotates were good. Their opping was really good. Verdi had a really good like time just playing that jet, zooming around the map. And obviously like this comp also is a normal comp and they weren't doing some fuck ass comp like Harbor on Abyss. But it was just like I felt for the first time that they knew what they were doing and they were doing a good job. And they were actually putting players where they needed to and getting information and rotating and the timing was all there. And granted, 100 Thieves, clearly they didn't play that map as much. But like at some point, Pankata too was just fragging out, like holding it down, anchoring sites, just getting 3 every time they tried to go in. And it was just like, this is definitely by far their best map that I've seen. And then the next 2 maps, I was like, never mind. Like maybe they're not back.
Everything changed when the Pearl Nation attacked,
Yeah.
dude. That was like, first of all, seeing Verdi on Yoru, like I really prefer this guy on like the Jet, the Neon, even if it's there, like something that's really fast and prefers killing. Solo Yoru on that map is so tough with double innie, and then like some of the tech just was not teching Yoru wise. Like flashes are off, TPs are like going in weird places. The team is not with him either. And then you have like, you know, Timo in the business. My question too for their veto in general, and I was approaching this last week too. I don't understand why they're going for Bind or Pearl versus 100 Thieves, who've shown it before to be so good. Bind specifically, like, I feel like we're back in that EG realm of like, people don't want to ban their best map against them in 23. Why are we not banning like Bind versus 100 Thieves?
True.
Like, as to what they played, how they played against G2 beforehand too. So much stuff, but there was no counterplay on that map to how they approached. There was no punish on B Long ever. When you know Timo's going to be trying to go up and dash there, you know that KO is such a good character to counter this like waylay business. If she dashes in, you can force her to refract. If she dashes in and wants to stay, you force her to stay. She kind of gets segmented completely. I didn't see a comp approach towards Bind either from the team, so it's kind of rough.
Yeah, I agree. I think they just outside of like again Breeze that did look good. I agree with that as well. I think they just look a little bit lost on some of these maps. I think it's going to take some time. Dude, every time I see the fade, I just don't want to see it. Like I don't know if it's just like a fade block because on Breeze they play the Sova and they're using recons at normal timings. So I don't know what it is. This team's not good, man.
I just think the roles are weird too. Like, I'm pretty sure Darker has played Yoru before, so why don't they just go all in with the double duelist and just let Verdi go crazy on the Jet or something? It doesn't really make sense. Their comps don't make sense. Their defaults don't make sense. Breeze, their defense was like the only thing that I've seen that had like a shining light on Loud.
Yeah, I think in the past too, Myrna, I think you might have been on the desk for these games. Like the Luke show, Darker show seems to be the wave to approach how this stuff works. Like it's just, I think a really good core to stick around in terms of like if you're positioning them around the map. That Abyss game, I think from their very first showing, they were popping off. And like I just didn't get to see a semblance of that anymore. I'm not sure like who plays in twos on this team, like what the trades look like on this team. It just all kind of disappeared in those last 2 maps.
Yeah.
If they get eliminated 0-3 in kickoff, do they pick up Daiki as IGL?
Dude, that would go kind of hard though. Right?
Do they just throw shit at the wall? Because like, I don't know, man. Whenever I look at the Loud roster, the last like 3 seasons, it's just like they should be way better than they actually are, and it does feel like the writing's on the wall that something's gonna have to change very early on in the season.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I felt like they would have nothing to lose as well. Like, it can't get much worse, I'm telling you. But I think she would also get a rough end of the stick there. Because it's like, I don't know, she would have to do so much work to fix a lot of their stuff. If it's gonna get better, it needs time. But I'm just worried that they don't know what they're doing.
But a question for you guys, like Pankata, Kawanzin specifically in the past, what were their like best qualities in their like winning runs? Like why were they such good players in the past? From a guy who like wasn't watching in those years.
Structure and fragging.
Yeah, so like what has left, Sliggy, do you think, like over time?
They have
just
no
the structure?
They have no structure.
Was that structure given to them by themselves? Like, did they have a good pulse on the game back then, or was that like the coaching, or like the rest of the team? That was the coaching.
We only can speak on Pankata. Like Luxo has only had this.
Luxo's
yeah.
Kawanzin's been in. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the entire idea was like this team was taking out Leader and Robbie BK because I feel like there was more of a focus on Robbie and like Verdi and maybe their a combination and that approach from stage 2. And like now we're really focusing on the core of Pankata Kawanzin. You have Pankata going for the IGL in their like previous press conferences. They were talking about how much focus there is on Pankata too. But yeah, man, 2 games. I know 100 Thieves is a tough matchup. It's super tough. I don't know what to change.
I feel like the biggest issue they have right now, outside of just like they don't know what they're doing, is their timing. It's like it's like Pankata and Kawanzin are just like these slow, methodical players that are so far behind whenever they are planning to do something fast that they can never catch up. And like Shyo has been really good at lurking on the Viper. He's had really fucking good timings, and they need to abuse the shit out of that. But then Verdi and Darker and Shyo are kind of like on an island where Shyo has his own timings. Verdi and Darker are just going in fast because that's what they think they're supposed to be doing. And then County and Panketta are just sitting in the back, still throwing util or trying to figure out the best strategy. And it just feels like there's a huge disconnect in like the timing, and then it like fucks the whole structure up. So it just like, I don't know what the fix is, but they gotta look at their breeze and just be like, we were so quick on everything that I think actually Pankat and County, they need to speed up with whatever decisions that they're making. I know they're like really good, slow and methodical, but man, they have like fraggers on this team.
They do. But we'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see what you guys picked for the EG versus Loud matchup this upcoming week. But we'll talk 100 Thieves when we talk about Sentinels, which we'll do right now. We'll talk about Sen versus EG. They defeat them 2-0 in a pretty decisive win. A very big bounce back win for Sentinels. John QT is having a crazy kickoff so far, and this was just yet another game where he kind of deadlifted certain rounds, especially on Pearl.
Mate, it's crazy how consistent he is right now. To do what he's doing is absolutely insane. The amount of consistency he's doing. This was the game where he had that crazy 1v counts as a 1v4, right? Where he shot the diffuser. That was mental. Like it's so
insane.
nuts. I was asking my chat about this of like how many IGLs have we seen that have like gone off of IGLing and like fragged this high. There's not many. There was like, if we were scraping, maybe like 5 names. Like he's really up there. He's kind of proven himself. Just that he can just be off the IGLing and then frag out heavy. It was a much better showing from Sentinels. I'm still worried about EG. They seem to always still just have like one bad half that worries me every single time I watch, which is okay, but it's like it's not going to fly. In Kickoff, you're just going to probably, like you're just losing a map essentially for free. So that kind of worries me. But the main thing from their first game was just Redux having confidence and going for what I would say would be mad plays. But it's one of those where if your duelist is going for like mad plays, if the majority of time they're getting something from it, then you can just let them loose. So it was kind of nice to see him not shying away from just doing the bold plays and actually just getting a lot of 2Ks, to be honest. So it looks like once he gets a bit of confidence, and I think he's still finding that, I imagine he should be fine. Because they were missing so much firepower when he was essentially missing in their first game.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, good. No, I had to wait over the PRX game, so like I didn't get to fully watch this one. So the only question I could have in terms of like the number one thing I wanted answered is how did Redux specifically look? Because I feel like there's been so much of an investment in the community around this player from every other game that I saw in Sentinels, not risen up to like the level of hype there is. And I was wondering if it showed at least in a stomp. I know John QT was man of the hour, but who was the best man? Was it Redux giving a good speech, or was he too drunk at the wedding?
he was good in this match.
Nah, he was good in this match, yeah.
He was really good. I think
Nice.
like he made so many plays for his team as Yoru. He was using his ult really well. He constantly got in the backlines whenever he needed to, and he was getting so much information. And I think that kind of paired with obviously like the fucking Terminator of John QT just being in the back with the Tejo missiles, just clearing like as much map control, so Redux only has to focus on certain spots when they're executing, was really sick. And it just felt like he started being like good for 3 almost every time that he was trying to get into sight. And I think they really changed that up from the last time they played. I think, yeah, Redux's confidence, like you said, Sliggy, but also they started setting him up really well.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I want to talk about Kayu's IGLing. How do you guys feeling a little good about it? I know there was some heat. He got some heat on their loss versus Furia. Does he look better this week, especially versus EG? Or
I think he does.
Might skip to like a little bit of a spoiler for the 100 Thieves Sen game, but my favorite rounds post highlight was John saying, that's why you let me IGL around, or whatever it was. And it was like the cleanest round from Sentinels. It was, everybody looked perfect. I'm like, wow, Narrate's on tempo with the rest of the team in the first time in 6 maps. What is this? And then it's John saying, yeah, that's why you let me call. And I'm like, oh God, I mean.
The hot mics are fun. The hot mics are fun. I would never get rid of them, but I imagine it's not fun for Sentinels to deal with stuff like that, because I'm sure he was joking, but you know how the community is with hot mics.
100%.
We actually had Sage, our reporter for Plat Chat, talk to Kyu. If we have the video ready, we had him talk to Kyu after they played.
Sage Datuin here with Plat Chat. I'm here with Sentinels IGL Kyu. So I've got a couple questions for you, primarily from Shyo of Plat Chat. So the first one is, he was talking about how IGL is a really demanding role, and part of it is getting the best out of your teammates. So what are you doing specifically to enable your teammates, even though there's different personalities on this team?
Yeah, I mean, it is the most demanding role, I would say, because you have to not just worry about yourself, you have to worry about all 5 of you guys. You know, if someone doesn't know what they're doing in a strat, you got to be the one that knows what they're doing in the strat. So you have to memorize basically 5 agents on every map and everything, plus antis. It is very stressful at times, but you do have to do a lot more. And yeah, the most important job as an IGL is to make sure all your players are comfortable and they enjoy what they're doing. And they feel like they have a voice, like I said, and they can, you know, execute things. And I think what I'm doing well to achieve that, and it's not just me, it's also the coaching staff, you know, is just making sure everyone has a voice, you know, and they can state how they feel. And, you know, we just got a performance coach for other, you know, performance coach helps for confidence, you know, attitude, stuff like that. So, you know, all these things do help, you know, your players get more comfortable. Yeah.
And then, just to follow up on that, they specifically want to know, you know, what does Narrate specifically need in and around for the team to entry in a new role? Because while he was with the team, he's now a duelist.
So can you say it again, the question?
Yeah, no worries. So it's, what does Narrate need in and around from the team to entry on a new role?
I mean, Narrate just needs, I mean, like any other duelist, I would say, he just needs initiator util. He needs to be supported. That's just any duelist. You know, he needs his Sova scans, util, whatever, fade, good smokes, good utility, and yeah, I'm not really sure how to answer that. Other than that, he just needs, you just have to play the game
Nice
and
question,
throw util for your duelist.
You left him speechless, bro.
Thanks, Kai. Really appreciate your time.
But I actually wanted to touch on that. I guess we can push towards the 100 Thieves versus Sen topic here. Do you guys feel like Narrate needs a little bit more help, or is there an issue with him? Because obviously he had a really, really rough match against 100 Thieves.
Yo.
Talking
Yo,
stick.
big
Phil Swift.
Yeah, I have the talking stick now. I think Narrate is heavily struggling, not necessarily because the structure around him isn't the best. I just think his positioning as the waylay is not working out for him. I think something that Kyu said as an IGL, there's 2 different styles, right? There's one where you're letting everyone have a voice and getting a lot of information from your team, and then trying to be that guiding voice of okay, this is the decision that I'm making, let's go with it. And you always have the chance to give your other teammates time to call and whatever, whether that's pre-match or in the middle of the round. And I think John QT and Kyu are kind of on that side of it, where Kyu is listening to everyone, including John QT, getting all the information and then trying to make a decision off of that. And John QT even mentioned on the couch with us in one of the post-match interviews that he is helping mid-round a little bit. But he does majority of the stuff that he wants to say is pre-round. And then there's the other side of IGLing, which is super micro heavy, which is where I think John QT fell under, where he microed a lot around the map. He had step 1, 2, and 3 set in his brain for how they want to play the round. And he's super smart with his own positioning. So it kind of worked out when he switched onto that controller role to now just literally frag out and have his own positioning and always be in that clutch situation. And for Nare, I think he would have found a lot more success under Nigel, who's super micro heavy, but like literally telling him what he wanted him to do and just telling him to go frag out after that and setting him up for success. Whereas now it's like a lot of the fights seem a little bit chaotic, and I think it's because there's so many voices, and Nare's just like, all right, I'm just gonna go in because that's kind of what I'm hearing from everyone, and it's just not working out because his positioning is so bad. His timing is not the greatest half the time, but the follow-ups have been really good. Obviously you have John QT and everyone just following up behind him and like fragging out.
Yeah, I think he plays at the moment with double duelists. In my opinion, you have a space maker, and you have the person that kind of cleans up second entry. Your first original space maker, which an array is meant to be, is meant to have a shit score, really. Like you're in a bad role, especially when you're playing like the Waylay and you're trying to make sure that you're kind of putting the saturate down on someone. And then sometimes you're getting out. A lot of the time with the double duelist, you are just fearlessly sending it, and that is your role. So he is doing it to an extent. I just wish, I just wish it was like a little better. I think you can kind of mix it up and give him a little more support. It does sometimes feel like it's him going in. This is where everyone is, like kind of like a drone, and then sometimes he gets the TP out, sometimes he doesn't. So I think there can be a little bit of a better setup. It's actually very, like when you see it like this, like the side by side with Timo, who in my opinion is probably the best Waylay that I watch at the moment. It's very night and day. And it's definitely, dude, 100 Thieves are such an interesting team to watch at the moment because they play the solo Waylay, but like there's so much thought behind it. It's so cool. Where in comparison to Sentinels, I feel like there's just there's not as much thought, and it's a little like you have to make space. Good luck kind of vibes.
I wanted to transition this conversation towards 100 Thieves a little bit more, just because they look real good. Like they had a decent showing versus G2. They beat Loud, and then they had a great match versus Sentinels. Like, are they back? Like, what's the hopium levels for them to actually qualify for Santiago?
Ooh, that's it. I mean,
yeah, like I'm thinking that far ahead already.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, Adam slid it in as a qual for London for sure. Like, I feel like that's a very like easy, more approachable thing, and learning and like in the league play a bit more than this bracket play. I feel like, again, I mentioned this I think before in a different episode. NA has like 3 walls right now, which are MIBR, NRG, and G2. I still don't think 100 Thieves, even by the end of the lower bracket, will have had enough of a power scaling level up to climb those walls. Like, I feel like they have this one trick with Timo in the business too. It's like the first season of anime where like High Q, Blue Lock, whatever it is, they're in that tournament, they're winning everything, but it's a nuanced anime. It's fun to watch because they lose in the final, and then you come back for season 2, right? Like, what's that guy's name? Oikawa, like has that ace serve and Kageyama loses. You're like, what? My main team lost. Blue Lock, like Nagi just does not win. It's crazy, bro. I feel like that's the same thing here. I mean, it was close with G2, but then look at a best of 5 as well. This team has really good niche maps. I'm wondering what maps do they choose in a best of 5. You might have to play one of your bands. You're going to be coming in from a lower seed round possibly as well into that best of 5 against someone else right beforehand. Crazy best of 3 to play. You have to dig into your pocket to see what to do. It's tough. But the best thing about it though right now is that Kurt, they are playing well. Like Asana's having fun. There was that one round on Corrode where like he's walled up in the weirdest way, and he's like apologizing for it. Everyone's laughing around. I just, again, love the approach from NBS and Ashan to like rebuild this team from scratch, still give their old players a chance. And it's looked to be really good so far.
Yeah,
I just like the whole roster, man.
Yeah,
they
it's
look
a nice
so
roster,
good. Yeah.
Big
Go ahead,
Tivatino Vora fan right here. Look at me go. T-us. No, I'm kidding. Okay, anyway.
Thank you.
I apologize for that.
There's just so much forward in this team. I have a clip of we're kind of like still on the side by side of the Waylay comparison. Look at how smart this is. They have a solo Waylay. Okay, so they want to hit B. But this is just not an all-in. You're using your Waylay to kind of prod over towards here a little bit, and then you refract back. So they use the refract to kind of prod over towards B. They make it look like it's a bit of a hit. They get that util out of them, and then they're ready for a re-hit. So they haven't gone all in with the double dash and then refract. We've only got one Waylay. We can get the main bit of util out, which is obviously the Omen Flash, and now we're ready for to actually enter over towards here, and then we go safe pathing like you would with like a safer Euro TP over towards the side of the site. So this right here, especially in overtime, is just so nice. This is why they're so good at the moment. Like, he's great with his saturate, they're very good at scaling and stuff like that, but these little things where they're just getting the most out of their agents, like, this is such a simple strat, and it's just so nice. It's well executed. I haven't seen teams do this where it's just refract for the first initial wave of their util, and then the double dash for when we're actually execing, and then we just kind of use it like a jet without a smoke. It's just safe pathing, or like a Euro doing a safe TP. They're very smart. They're for sure by far the best solo waylay team at the moment. There's other teams that do like double, but
yeah, it looks so good too, because like the sauce that sticks the sandwich together is like awesome as Sage, right? Like, you'll take so much space, you'll cheat it, and usually there's like a rubber band effect back from the other team, but Sage denies all the like rewards that, or like she denies the enemy team from gaining any type of space back. Like, it's so good to immediately toss a slow on the fear that Timo like puts on the map, on the site. Like, the combination of some of their Asian picks are so good, where you look at Sentinels a little bit, they have a lot of initiation, but the stickiness is not there as well. So like, it's not only just Waylay being so good on Thieves, it's the way they utilize the space she creates. Like, Nary can maybe even get up to Timo's level, but I feel like just the comp-wise approach to things with Sage just benefits Waylay so much more too.
I think too, with 100 Thieves, like, every single player on this team is genuinely insane. And I think with Timo, he kind of reminds me of when Neon first came out, and Jagabo was like the first one to kind of master the Neon movement and the slides and stuff. I feel like that's how I feel watching Timotino's Waylay. It's stuff that I personally would not have thought of, and it's just such a well-developed playbook. And then you have Bang, who's literally just shitting on everyone that comes to his site at any point in time. And then Cryo, who's so smart with his lurk timings, even on defense, where he just knows that he can just push down and get as much space as he possibly can. And half the time you find him flanking on defense when the other team is still trying to get into a post plant. And so it was just, I think overall the game plan 100% was amazing. And I think every single person on this team is really doing their job super well.
It's just,
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, can they take down El Presidente though? Is the question, Osmos. Like, can they take down NRG champion trophy holders? Can they already were denied by G2? Can they win a rematch in a BO5? Like, that's the question for this team. Like, can they usurp the kings of North America?
So for you, Shyo, it's NRG, MIBR, G2, 100 Thieves for London?
Is London 4?
3,
yes.
right?
London 3? Yeah, so my thing is 100 Thieves.
I thought
3, 4.
Santiago
It's
was
3, because Kickoff is supposed to be 2, then it's supposed to be 3, then 4. But
Okay,
Kickoff got a
you're
bonus,
right.
so it's 3, 3, 4 now.
okay.
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking it's like, man, it's one of the two from G2, MBR, and 100 Thieves, or NRG, and then 100 Thieves steals a spot. Is my thing.
Yeah. Just saying that out loud, it just seems so hard for 100 Thieves, even in their current form.
No, they're playing so good though, man. The Sage is
Yeah.
genius. They play the Sage so well. It's so strong against the current meta. These coaches are decent, man. Like, really good.
Mm-hmm. If you make guesses too, like if Yoru's getting nerfed, they're not even running it. Like, they just have Waylay. Like, they don't get affected. Like, the future is stolen by the Thieves. It's crazy.
We'll see how they do. I would love to see Asuna and Cryo at an international.
They'll make it to 1 this year, no doubt.
I agree.
I hope so. I hope maybe 2.
At least 1. Yeah.
They're definitely like my top 4. And then MIBR and 100 Thieves are kind of, I need to see them play. Because I think MIBR has crazy like firepower and really high skill ceiling, and everyone is so smart on that team. But man, 100 Thieves, their playbook and they're just so unique in the way that they play that it's so convincing to me, and I'm genuinely very surprised by this 100 Thieves roster.
Well, we'll probably have a bonus match of the week involving 100 Thieves, depending on who they play. Do we know if they play the loser of G2 Furia or Energy MIBR?
Mods,
if it's Energy, mods, figure it out. Jarvis, tell me now. We'll find that out. But yeah, we'll go to the next topic here. We have an MV topic. MV scrapes by with a 2-1 win versus KRU Esports. I'm just gonna read it right off the rip here. They do scrape by, and then they had another series versus Cloud9 that we'll get to after that. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember this series.
I remember this
happened?
series. Holy fuck. Dude, this one was like steamrolling from NV on Pro. Like it's classic. We don't know who we are. Map 1, and then like I forget what movie it's from. Remember who you are. Like they just activate, and it's on a more aggro map, and like shit looks crazy on map 2. It's also like you're facing KRU, so like things should be more approachable, more easy, because it's like a crazy roster in terms of subs coming in and whatnot. But man, when you get active on KRU and they have like Nags a little bit sleepy, I'm gonna rain on Nags so much this episode. It's crazy. My favorite player to watch, by the way. But sometimes the diff in aim and the diff in like the approach to the round with like someone anchoring so much, you can smell the fear. It's nuts. This match was a bit scrappy, I think, on both sides. Like especially the I think it was the breeze at the very end. It devolved. Like the pushes we were seeing, and we were like, we don't know what a 4-1 is, we don't know what a 3-2 is. We're going 5A like every round, and we don't care what happens. Overheating, it gets crazy. It was just a very scrappy match, I think, all around from start to finish.
Yeah, this was the one where Envy had picked the Abyss for the third time, right, and lost their third Abyss. So I think they really suit maps where on defense they can be proactive and you can have multiple options of being proactive. I think when you look at Abyss, it's a ship map. You have basically 2 plans that you can do in reaction to stuff, and essentially both of them are crap as well. So you can't really do anything. So you're essentially just taking risks and then giving people free sites. So I don't think it's a good map for them. But like when I watch them on like Pearl and stuff, where you can have multiple reactions, you can take like a lot of risks. They're so good. They're very, very micro driven team, probably one of the best micro team fight teams I've seen in NA, to be honest. But their plans are good as well, and they're all just on the same page. So I think a lot of them make calls, to be honest, because it's a lot of it's all over the map for sure, but they're very much on the same page of what they're doing. So dude, I like watching Envy at the moment. I think they're so fun to watch. It's so random what they do, but
yeah, so it's
fun,
more
and
fun
it's
for you than like you're confident in them.
But it's good stuff. It's because it's like
Okay.
I would never, some of their set stuff strats like I would do, but some of their like on the fly calls that they're just doing because someone's feeling it, like that stuff's so fun, man. And they'll just back it with numbers, and because they're all like really talented, especially like Kesnet's really good, man. It just works a lot of times. So I have a lot of fun watching this team. It's like I'm watching a Pacific team, to be honest. It's very fast paced, and they're always doing something. Like I'm always looking at the minimap, and I know like when I watch a FNATIC, I'm like, whoa, they're gonna hold for 20 seconds and do something, then it's another 40 seconds. Like on this, I'm like, oh dude, like I constantly have to be looking. They're always doing stuff. And that's kind of why I think they should probably move away from the Abyss picks. It's an obvious at this point. They got 0 out of 3, but I think just the map in general doesn't suit how proactive they want to be on defense. And then for KRU, go and touch on KRU. I think they're doing great, man, for a standing team. To be honest.
Agree.
Like for a standing team with a small amount of time, fair play that you look this good, then you're actually taking maps against some of these teams. I didn't think they would. So yeah, I think they're doing good.
Have any of the stand-ins been on any of your guys' radar for potential tier 1 prospects?
Gen.G, man.
Gen.G for
Yeah.
sure.
Gen.G.
Yeah.
I think Infiltrator as well is really good.
They're the 2.
In WU, he's just been popping off in general, and then oh wow, wait, what's the dog's name?
Hi. Cleo. Oh God.
Hi,
Cleo.
Cleo.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Okay.
What
All
does
right,
Cleo
getting
think
excited.
about KRU?
Cleo, what do you think? Cleo, here. What do you think about KRU? Yeah, good
wow.
talk. Honestly,
Solid.
agree. Sorry,
Well,
you were saying.
Okay, do you I really want to hear what you guys think. I'm impressed by this KRU's roster, especially like how well they're playing with their backups. They're obviously, their main roster is having visa issues. Everybody's having visa issues. And we probably won't see them until stage 1. Are we confident that this KRU backups is worse than the main roster? Because I don't know. I was pretty low on the main roster, and I think I don't know if they'd be putting up the same performance as the backups. I know the backups have lost 2 matches out of 2, but they've looked okay. They've played it like relatively close.
Their roster's not that bad, man. They should look better.
I'm a hater.
Yeah, I think you're a hater, man, for sure. I think you're for sure a hater. But they also have at least like 2 players that they could just slot in if stuff does look crap. Like Gen.G and Infiltrator are just 2 that you. I mean, if I'm the actual crew guys at the moment, obviously I got a lot of issues, but I feel like once you actually start playing, and if they do get to stage 1 and they start looking a little risky or like a little worse for wear, I do think you could just slot a couple of these players in, and it might improve them. But dude, they should look the original team should look better than this team for sure.
MTA also kind of leveled up, right? Like
Yeah,
MTA
some
in
nice
that last BO3, like I think they have an ace or something. Was it a 4K or an ace? I forget. It's he played really well. I think he's also, in terms of like trying to find Yorus in general, like if any team is trying to look for 1 2, like he could be a good slot in. If a Yoru doesn't make it for the actual roster that's supposed to be coming in, he could also be utilized. I think the only there's one outlier. I don't say his name is one outlier, but other than him on the crew, everything's been chilling.
All right, let's not talk crap about their
Whoa.
backups. So Envy looking all right. We'll talk more Envy when we talk Cloud9 versus Envy, but let's go back earlier on Saturday, I believe it was. Cloud9 taking down LEVIATAN, and I think the story about this was obviously Oxy's mother passing. He was very open and honest about that really difficult situation that he's going through. And I guess the silver lining of that, it kind of revealed that Demon 1 and Oxy have kind of a close relationship. And Demon 1 stepped in for Oxy and was just like, the team was fully supporting Oxy, as well as Demon 1 coming into the game and having a great game defeating LEVIATAN. And I think like the sub story to this match was, Lev is not nearly as good as I thought they were going to be going into kickoff.
Yeah, but they're missing like the second best, some people would say best player.
That's the
True, I don't
conversation,
know.
right? Like,
Yeah.
the convo I was having on stream was, okay, if Neon is not here and Neon is the truth, how much is Neon going to be salvaging and saving on this team? Because is it just Neon not being here? Like, is it the equivalent of who was it on Furia that never made it? So they always lost and we were always waiting for him in stage 2? You guys remember?
Yeah, but they said in an interview that they're splitting up time practicing with PXS and Neon as well. So it's like, in theory, they're kind of already putting stuff in plan to be a lot better when it comes to, because he's in for the lower round. So it should look a lot better. I am worried about a lot of their things. First of all, they keep on picking the team that they're playing against best map. They go up against 100 Thieves. They picked 100 Thieves bind. Obviously, they don't know because it's like the first time you see them. But historically, they've been good at bind. Next map, they're kind of in for playing bind. And then they go up against C9 and they pick the Pearl. And then C9 next game insta pick the Pearl as well. So it's like you keep picking the opposite team's best map. But yeah, it's they look a little worrying at the moment. They don't. I want them to be a little looser, but I'm not sure we're gonna see that. But hopefully they are with Neon in. I don't know, man. It's I always thought they were gonna go 0-2 here. I just didn't think they would look this bad. They're still getting ecoed quite a bit.
Yeah. I
Do you
wasn't a
guys-
big fan of Lev the whole time.
Go
Like,
ahead. I was interrupting.
No, it's okay. I just think like whether or not they're practicing with Neon or PXS, I still think they have a much bigger glaring issue outside of that without a stand-in or not. Like the 4 players, they don't really play together. Their game plan like isn't as solidified as I thought it would be, especially with King, where he's normally like this fragging IGL. I'm so sorry. She keeps ringing the bell because she wants to go outside. But she Can I
She's
help
looking over
you?
like, surely.
She's so cute.
Where did you get that sock? Dude, okay, anyway. So I just think that like this team's identity is just a big question mark for me. I feel like too, you have Sato, you have King, like you have Spike, you're supposed to be fragging out, and they're never putting themselves in the right positions to do that. And I don't know if it's only a strat book error or like lack of reps, or they have these maps that they really want to play that they're just not getting to play. It just, none of it makes sense to me. This whole Lev roster just has been kind of not the best and very uncoordinated.
I mean,
Yeah, I
challenge
wanted to
and- yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. No, I mean,
Kurt,
you
come
know.
on, you keep interrupting people.
I
What
have
the hell?
I
This is your
just really
trial
want
to
to
get on the
interrupt.
desk.
I really want to interrupt Shyo
I'm yapping
as
some more.
every time he talks. But I wanted to kind of touch on Neon again because, especially for Sliggy, like, do you think that Neon coming is going to be like when Primi turned 18 and just like change that
So,
like squad around completely like by himself?
In
Or
my
is it going to be like
pick'ems,
Spike with 2G where it was like it's still
they're too
2G,
far gone? Yeah. So
you know?
in my pick'ems, I had Lev losing both games, and I had them winning all the way up and actually qualifying. I wouldn't do that now after I've seen the level of Lev, but I do think they're gonna get like three wins at least. I think it's gonna be just as soon as they get that one win, it'll all kind of click a little bit. I think they're playing very scared at the moment. I do think once he's kind of in, it should all start making more sense. I'm worried that they're too scared at the moment of making mistakes when I think they have a very good team of just running it down and out aiming people. So I would like to see them lean into that a little bit. But historically, that's maybe not how Honor likes to play. At least like Lev 2023, if he goes back to how he used to coach in 2021, when he used to run like a Rainer and a Jet, that style would like work now. I kind of hope he leans more into that. I think it will fix them to a fair degree, to be honest. But I don't have them going all the way now in my head. But I think they'll get like 3 wins.
Thanks. Yeah. To challenge like Athena as well, and to touch on what you're about to say, or what you just said, Sliggy too. I feel like they weren't in the worst positions ever. The execution from the positions was a little bit like needing. I wanted more out of him. Like if you looked at the game on Split, King had some good flanks and he put himself in good position sometimes. I think they're also like covering roles for each other, which is why you might see that, you know, there's some issues in the way they have the potential to frag out. Like you want to see, you know, Spike and King and why am I forgetting Blows all the time? Blows as well be in the best positions, but if they're not comfortable in their roles as much, then it's going to be a bit harder to frag. And in the execution, you're right, they are playing like kind of by themselves, but they're still finding good positions. There's still like good levels of approach, I think, from Lev. It's just the execution towards some of the end of these rounds. Maybe because Dion's not there, maybe because it's the off-roll thing. That's a problem. My follow-up to the mention of Owner is that I swear to God on Pearl or Split, I forget which one it was in this game, like Owner just did not call a timeout. Like they were losing so hard and he just would not time out. And the team was just suffering in more and more ways. Like, there was some slight things like the anchoring wasn't working out and the trades weren't going good onto like retakes on Pearl. But there was also just like, why doesn't the coach want to chime in and at least get the team on a course correction for what is a game that's still going on? It's like, you know, there's 5 rounds or 6 rounds played, 9 rounds played. It's still a half to go and there's no timeout.
Yeah, I will hop on with that one as well and say that the game plan wasn't good. C9, if you watch them play Pearl, they're actually the team that prioritizes info on the sides the most out of any team on defense. And then we just saw, instead of like defaulting over towards B, pushing people off of the angle, they're kind of just 5-person grouping set where you go towards this site and then not actually doing a thorough default. So I do agree with that. I think Honor's a good coach. I think sometimes you miss the mark. I think he missed the mark on this game plan.
All right, so he shouldn't be crucified by the community, which seems to already be happening. Like,
They
I saw
gotta
Tarek made
stand
a
him.
tweet about it. Yeah,
It's like give him a bit of time kind of vibes.
yeah. Give him some time. We can talk about Cloud9 versus Lev if we want. Like, obviously, Demon 1 came in.
Demon 1!
Big chamber. Killed some people, and then they won. Go ahead. Athena, it's your talking stick.
Let's go. I think with Cloud9, the thing that I really loved from them, Sliggy kind of mentioned it, they were doing so much aggression on their defense side, taking a lot of the extremities, but they also did, like, big shout out to Zelsis, because it felt like he set up Chamber, set up Demon 1 for success, and then also had every single step after that ready. Like, if they were fighting mid, they're going to set up a trap play off of the shot. We're going to do this, and then we're going to flash, and then we're going to swing. And it was just like a really good set of plans from Zelsis, and it felt like they didn't just say like, okay, where do you want to go, Demon One? All right, cool, we'll see what happens after that. Like the protocols that came after were really, obviously Demon One, he was fragging out too, which obviously helped. And a lot of the time it felt like wherever Demon One did say he wanted to go, he gambled correctly, which was really refreshing to see too. I think that's kind of the thing I'd say for Lev, is that they did get a bit unlucky with the fact that everywhere that Demon One did want to go aggressive with the op and peak, Lev kind of was there trying to default, trying to get some sort of information, and they just instantly got punished. And I think Zelsis' assists that game were like insane, no? He went 8 and 19 assists on Pearl. Like he was doing work for Demon One, and then just like falling back to site, retaking more space on the other side. And it was just like their defense looked really good. And for Lev, honestly, I don't think a lot of teams would have been able to fight for that unless they're like the top 4 teams on my list, because their gambles were just so good. They were on point.
Yeah, his KO is so nice. It felt like every flash got some kind of value. They're always peeking off behind it. I think just the combo of Demon One, who seems like a pretty chill player, with an IGL who likes to absolutely give it as well, is like nice, man. Like it looks like he's actually enjoying playing. And Zelsis is very like vocal. It kind of reminded me a little bit of when like Boostio used to give it with Demon One. Like essentially you just throw him a flash, he kills 3 people, and then you just give it. And I think Demon One kind of feeds off of that as well. And I do want to give praise to EMEA, the coach, as well, because I think that we've seen a lot of teams kind of pick up stand-ins and even like use Demon One to maybe not the best. And I think just putting him on a chamber in this meta is very smart. He's played, I think it's his most played agent. We haven't seen it for like a couple of years, but he's literally one of the best chambers. And the setup, they made everything good like for him. Like Penny's just flexing on the kind of selfless role of making space just to enable like the best for Demon One. And it pays off, man. Like he's been giving it on his stream, saying like he's better mechanically than 99% of tier 1 players. I mean, he is, dude. he's backing it up. He is backing it up.
He's so good. I actually think we could segue this Demon One discussion to the Cloud9 defeating Envy. What a crazy series that was. I kind of wanted to start off this discussion with an interview we had with Demon One, courtesy of Sage Datuin, because Demon One, he had some stuff to say, if we have that ready.
Hi everybody, Sage Datuin with Plat. I'm here with Demon One after this series today. Two matches, 2 victories, a lot of energy drinks, but I've got a couple questions for you. So first one is from Bren, and he was asking, he wanted to just know about what it's been like during this period. What have you been working on in terms of personal growth ever since, losing out on roster spots to players like Baby Bay and things like that? Because it seems like from watching your streams, he was talking about how you're trying to be more vocal and positive, even in ranked, but they just want to know your perspective during this time.
As far as losing out to players like Baby Bay, I never lost a spot. The reason for that, the rumor is out there that I did try out for G2, yes, but I didn't lose out to Baby Bay because he's better than me. He's not. I did not get the spot because of contractual issues with the Lev. So stop spreading rumors. Your answer is right there. It was something to do with Lev in the contract, within the contract. So that is why I did not get that spot on G2. And then second, working on myself. I mean, like I said earlier, same old. I mean, I'm not missing anything. I'm just playing and doing my thing. So
it's just streaming, playing, and drinking energy drinks. That's been the motto.
Just gamer life. Gamer life.
Dude, that kind of sounds sick, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, you've kind of been vibing, honestly. That's sick. All right, second question for you. So you filled so many. This one's from Shyo Wager.
Yeah.
You filled so many roles on so many rosters. What is the dream role for Demon One? Is it just a role, or is it a role in a specific team comp?
For me, dream role, do what's the most fun, or like just a role where I can do what I want, take whatever gunfight I want, whenever I want to, do what I want, not be told what to do, and just feel my own game, and then the team plays around me.
And then just a final question for me. Do you have a message to the Plat chat community?
Hello. That's my message.
Yo, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Sorry for taking a little longer, 6:30, but
You're good.
did my best.
Yeah.
Yo, thanks for your time, man.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
So real quick for context, this interview happened after, I mean, if you didn't watch the match last night, Cloud9 versus Envy, first map, second longest map in VCT America's history. I believe it was 2119.
2018.
2018, extremely long map. Then there was a ton of tech pauses, and also the series kind of went the distance for the other two maps as well. So very tired. We're thankful that Sage was able to talk to Demon One. But what do you guys have to say about Demon One just kind of like clearing some air there?
Who wants to go first?
Okay. Nothing. Okay.
Shyo
Perfect.
can go first. Shyo's got something.
Yeah,
to
go
say, surely.
Shyo. Go Shyo.
Go Shyo. Yeah. I think that stand on business. We want to stand on business, man. That's sick. It's really funny that we just come from like glazing some of these teams to like, oh, the duelist is doing so much for the team. The role in 2026 is the waylay activates everyone else. Demon One walks in, championship belt, kicks over like every other roster. It's me. I want to play my way. Don't tell me what to do. I'm going in. That's crazy, man. The juxtaposition between the analysis and his game style is wild. But I'm glad that, first of all, he's like locked into himself. It's interesting, whatever contractual obligations there were that didn't let him join G2. It seems that he might have had really good trials with the team, and you know that could have been a possibility. Also makes me want to think that Holy, were they only looking at Baby Bay, or like what was G2's approach? Did they just want to actually straight up get rid of Jonah? Because I thought that it's more of a, oh, we have the option of Baby Bay, sure we'll drop Jonah, but it was, oh, we want to just completely look away from Jonah. Let's look at Demon One, Baby Bay, and other prospects. Lots of chapters opening in different books here. Regardless, Demon One, it might be the GOAT. I'm going to say hello back to you because you said hello to me. That guy is him, bro. Holy shit.
Dude, he
At
had
least-
like what? 37 kills in the first map, the overtime. Like that was insane. He just in general, his aggression has been really good. I think the ego that he carries, he really sustains in game, which is something that you'd love to see, especially when you're putting him on the chamber and the jet. He's actively calling. I think Ender was listening in to their comms, and I think he was saying that it really was that Demon One was literally just like, I want to peek mid. And so it's like, okay, you're going to peek mid, and I'm going to do this and this and this, and then you guys are going to rotate here, and then Zeppa's just going to get 4 on the other side. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And he genuinely did such a good job. He backs it up. He got that ace. He literally was just fragging out, and I think a lot of people underestimated that he's not just like a rank grinder, his game sense as well when it comes to the timings on the chamber, when it comes to where or why he wants to peak what he wants to peak to, is just, it's really solidified and it's slotted really well with Cloud9.
Yeah, I think the chamber suits him really well. I know he said
Yeah.
that he wants to play just duelist, but honestly, I think the chambers kind of frees that up a lot more because maybe sometimes you don't have ultimate freedom on duelist when you need to make space and send it in. So I think the chamber is just great for him. Mechanically, he's one of the best. He wins so many pistol rounds for them as well. Like when he has chamber bullets, he's hitting the first shot every single time. That's so impactful. It really is. He won them like so many pistols. It was nice, but the rest of the team and the system is why it works as well. It's like what he's saying there. Like he needs a team that revolves around him. C9 get a stand-in and they make it all about the stand-in. That's kind of crazy. You got to shout out Penny for just going, fuck it, man. I'll play whatever role. I'll just make the space for this guy, and he did, a great job at it as well.
Yeah, I think the first time I saw LeBron and D Wade play, it was Miami Heat. The second time it was here with Demon One and Zeppa, bro. Oh my God. Like when it's Oxy, like you can see the Oxy Penny synergy there. With Demon One's like slower pace and tempo, it's like, okay, now Zeppa gets to react off of him. He makes space so that, you know, initiators, sentinel type players on the other side of the map can get info and kind of work. Bro, lobbing up, dunking from half court, this guy with that ace as well. Dude, I swear there was a calm, like there was a round where he had to clutch and people were still like talking, and the post game like listening. He was just like, shut up, calm. I'm gonna clutch. I just clutched, bro. It's insane. It's actually insane. Probably the most fun player to watch so far, par maybe Primi, like globally in VCT. It's been nuts.
I think for C9, they used to be a team that flew under my radar a lot of the time because they were like just mid in a sense. But I think what Demon 1 kind of brought is a lot more proactivity to their defense side and a lot more confidence to their attack side. I think Zeppa too, whatever he did in the offseason, he needs to just fucking do that constantly, because he also has been frying. I know he's usually like, I think last year he would like have some really good games, some really shit games, some really good games, some really shit games. He wasn't really consistent, but so far this kickoff, he's genuinely been a beast. His game sense obviously is there. We all know he's a super fucking smart player. He almost won this 1v. This was insane. Genuinely, if he got that kill on Inspire, he would have won, and it would have been one of the smartest plays I would have ever seen, going in to get that kill, to get that ult orb, and then just knowing that he has to fall back and get that ult off was insane. But yeah, Penny too, just holding W. Even on the Neon, like on Pearl at some point, we saw him just holding W. He didn't even plot his gun. He was just running at the site like this. Demon 1 and Zeppa are running up behind him, and he's just jumping around. Like, he didn't even plot his gun at one point, and it was insane because the site was instantly cleared after that, even though he died. And yeah, and even Vic has been doing so fucking good too. Like, he's constantly in those clutch positions. He's just randomly getting the most impactful frags ever. He might not be like fragging out the whole time, but super stable. When they're executing on his site, he's usually good for 2. Yeah, I just think overall this team, they really made it work getting in a sub. And I think it is just really funny that it was against Envy, who is by far the most chaotic team. And I feel like the only reason why it went so far is because Envy has a tendency to force your team to play super chaotic the way that they are.
Yeah, and somehow, despite through all the chaos, Kesnet was able to like keep up the entire series.
Yeah,
he's good, man.
He is so good.
Yeah,
has he been to? Yeah, he hasn't been to an international since 2025, right?
Wasn't his whole thing that like he was the qualler, like he qualified to every single international?
Yeah. He used to qualify to everything, and then 2020. 5 it would be they had a rough time.
I want to see him on the main stage again.
Yeah,
he's
man,
so
he's a
fucking
fragger.
good.
I think he fits into this team well.
Yeah, Extra was the one having a bit of a rougher day overall, but that's because like some of the first bloods from Demon 1, like he's the one that's getting run into, and then a lot of the time like it's hard to like use all Demon 1's chamber forces you to use so much util early, and then like you're in trouble afterwards. You don't have as much of it for the site, so his style of play on Yoru was a bit punished. Dude, like the whole team though, you could see the investment for them. Like at the very end of that map 3, almost going to OT, like Kesnet, like sweat drops beating off his forehead, like looking a little bit deflated. Like Rossi didn't want to like prop up Zelsis, I think, when he was walking around. Like he's trying to handshake him. Rossi's like, nah, I don't even want to. Like these guys were like locked so far in and wanting to win that game. And I like that from Envy, from the team who like has a reputation of they're gonna walk in, aggro out, we don't care too much, blah blah blah. They were very much so locked in for this series.
Yeah, I think the only real question, like left the yeah, she just wrecked.
I didn't see that. Oh my god.
I'll catch you later, man.
That's so funny.
Having none of it, bro. I think the only question, I hate to be the one to ask this question, is what happens when Oxy comes back? Because I do think that Penny's playing incredibly well, but it does remind me a lot of like Paper X in the off season here, where it's like Patmen for Envy, can we get an upgrade? I don't think Penny's playing bad at all. I actually think Penny's playing fantastic, but can Oxy do the same roles as Penny? Kind of, and then is that just not better? So that's definitely a decision for them to make, and whether they think that long term, like working with the Demon 1 system would work as well. So I hate to be the one to watch to ask the question, but it does have to be answers, because
I have answers. I mean, the reason Demon 1 worked is because he's a sub. as soon as Demon 1 is no longer a sub, C9 falls again.
That's
So
the
the
thing.
tech
Maybe.
is
Damn,
bring
that's
Au-
crazy.
bring Oxy back in for 2 weeks, sub Oxy. Bring Oxy back in, sub Oxy. And
So you're
this
saying,
team
like-
becomes the craziest 6-man roster ever seen of all time. Like, as long as one, it doesn't even have to be Oxy. Just keep subbing one person. What do you want to do today? What do you want to do this round? And then, as I was saying, let Zelsis build on that. Zelsis plays a roguelike every single time he jumps into VCT, and C9 just like, I don't even know, Hades 3 their way to Santiago. I see the vision. The vision's there.
Dude, are you saying 6-man roster? Or are you saying like
Dude, I'm
cut
saying-
them and then
He's saying
re-sign
6-man
them?
roster, I think.
No,
But
I'm
you
saying
bench
no,
someone every
Listen,
2
listen,
weeks.
listen. Not 6-man, not 6-man. Sitcom roster with a guest star every week. So you have the same 5, but you guest star. Oh, Fukashi wants to play today? Sure, Vic. You can stay out. Fucking Baby Bay transfer? I don't know what's happening in NA, huh? That'd be crazy.
So the
Ye's coming back?
subtitle-
Yay?
The substitute title means a lot to you, Shyo. So Emmy needs to tell Demon 1, you are a sub this week. Otherwise, if he doesn't say that and he's like on the main roster, he's not going to do well. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because like, you know, Zelsis might feel like, okay, this is not like a special day today. You know, maybe I want to IGL a little bit. Like, you know, the team's getting good vibes. Like, I can control this. No, you can't. Demon 1's got to
right.
call. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Can we? Okay, I want to go back to the main question because I think it's a really
Okay.
good question. We had fun, but I don't know why, but I didn't actually think like Penny could be in trouble here. I was just thinking like, oh man, it's gonna suck for Demon 1 when he has to go in free agency again.
I think, yeah, it's a decision to be made. It just reminds me exactly of the Paper X thing. It's like Batman did nothing wrong, and he's done nothing wrong. He's actually performed incredible, but long term, does that make sense to be a better team? Maybe. I don't know how he is in practice. I don't know how he is in a full team, as in like Demon 1. But it's definitely, like, you got to ask the questions. If you want to win stuff, you got to be ruthless.
Do you think that would? What? Do you think the roster would work with Oxy Demon 1 together? They're obviously good friends.
Absolutely.
Do I think that Oxy could do what Penny does right now? Yeah.
I think
That's scary.
I don't want to say he could do it and better, but I think he could definitely do it and also perform and get a little bit more on the board in terms of frags. And I don't think it's to any fault of Penny. I think Penny is super selfless and it's really good. I just think that Oxy also can be super selfless. And I think that him and Demon 1, we've seen their relationship outside of the server. I think it would play into that too. Where he's like, bro, let's just go. Let's just go together.
Dude,
All right,
Penny
I guess we'll
becomes,
see
like,
what
the
happens.
Super sub, man. Yeah, I mean, that guy's been on so many rosters. Holy.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what happens. It's a week-to-week thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure. It's just at one point that I think a decision has to be made. I don't know. I just feel if it does happen, I feel bad for Penny because he's at least put himself back on the radar and shows that he belongs in tier 1. So we'll see what happens if they're fine with it. They might just do that thing where they go back to the original in stage 2, and then if it fails, then you have the backup plan for stage 1, and then if it fails, you have the
Leaks?
backup plan for stage 2. Yeah.
It feels like we're in stage 1 right now. Because
Yeah.
the tournament is like kind of a stage also. Let's do some predictions, shall we?
Yippee!
We got 4 matches this week in Americas that we can predict. We have 6 matches. But we have what are we in the upper bracket now? Yeah, we are. We have the match of the week in Americas.
doing-
If you want,
Oh, sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go
No,
ahead.
no,
I was
you're the
struggling. I was
host,
struggling.
sir.
You're
Please.
saving me. You're saving me. Please save me.
I think we're doing the upper bracket, so upper round 3, and then we're doing lower round 1.
Yep.
And then back to middle round 3, I believe, is next weekend.
Gotcha.
Yes.
So we're gonna see some teams get eliminated after we watch the upper bracket get fleshed out a little bit more. But the first upper bracket match, which could be the top 2 teams in Americas, it's our match of the week this week. Go and vote in the community tab if you
Yippee!
want to vote. Energy versus MIBR team.
Oh, that makes sense.
Do it.
Yeah,
I
he was
can't
ready.
believe it.
They're so good.
But can't you believe it?
I was thinking about
Yeah, I
MIBR,
can believe it.
but like, how does this team mess up? Like, I don't even think they were playing their super best. They could play even better that they did against like what was it, C9, and they've watched like so much happen from then till now to add to what they can do. Like I just think Energy or them, Kiko Claus always exists in every single round. Yeah.
What would you give this a percent wise though? Like
It's close.
for
I think
Energy?
60-40.
Yeah,
60-40.
I agree.
Mm.
Because we just haven't seen enough of MIBR, and like the
I
roster's
don't
insane.
think so. I think it's more like
Really?
70-30 because we saw them like struggle a bit against Envy, which I think with MIBR's caliber and how high standards we're holding them to, I don't think they should have struggled that hard. It
But
wasn't
they have
2-0,
quicksand
but it
clause.
was close.
Envy have
Yeah.
quicksand clause where they like sink you to their level and then you guys beat the shit out of each other. You know what I'm
True.
saying? Like that's how they play the game.
I think this is close. I think
Oh
we
my
might
God.
we might. If MIBR wins, I think they could be qualifying
Oh.
through the upper bracket here.
Yeah, it's one
I
of those.
think
where I
whoever
wouldn't-
wins this qualifies through the upper bracket.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised. Nah, I agree with that as well. I think this is whoever wins wins.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Looking forward to that. Let's go to the next match. We got Furia. Furia's in the upper bracket versus G2. Oh wow!
Boy, here we go. It's got everything ready, pose wise.
So we're thinking Furia is gonna
Oh, no.
no longer stay undefeated in 2025. All right.
Yeah, what's the
Is there any
Panther
other
doing in
comments?
Arlington, Texas? You know what I'm saying? How is the team here, bro? Okay, listen. Man of the people and the people believe. What if it's like a spirit bomb situation? Everybody loves Koala Noob. His tears drop down to his mouth, make it flick even faster. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they just smash G2. Oh my god. Baby Bay's having an off day. He's missing Doug. Like, you know, Valen just doesn't want to do it to Koala Noob. It's, you don't want to kill the animal. It looks too cute type thing. I don't know. I'm struggling here. I need help.
I think you did good.
Alright, cool.
I'm interested with percentages on this one as well because I think Fury are actually pretty decent. I give this like a 70-30 maybe.
I agree with that.
What's
I
the
I
win
can't-
disagree with
condition?
that wholeheartedly. I think it's a 90-10.
90-10?
I think this is a 90-10.
Nah, that's
This is-
Okay.
up.
Did you
That's
think
messed
did you
up.
think
I don't
Furia was
think
gonna
so.
win any matches going
Uh,
into kickoff?
Dude, they're so far away from the wall, bro. You guys have to remember the wall theory, man. Like,
No.
this is G2. They were facing struggling Sen. You know, like, this is G2, man. The tier gap. Did you see the tier gap between NRG and C9? I think Furia would lose to C9. Yes? Can we all agree to that? Like, right now?
I don't know.
Okay.
They
I
would
don't
not be
know.
favored. They would definitely not be favored.
Yeah,
Okay,
they wouldn't be
and this
favored.
is-
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the gap is even larger between the teams, man. Like, no hate, just analysis. Tier gaps, man. Tier gaps. It's a rule.
I do
Watch.
agree there's a big gap, but I still think that Furia so far has surprised us so many fucking times that I wouldn't be surprised if they do something else to be crazy. I feel like the maps and the rounds that they won has been pretty solid where you've seen that their strats are good, their gameplay is good. I think on a micro level, they are genuinely insane. I don't ever see an issue with spacing with them. I don't see an issue with peaking with them. But I do also agree that G2 has all of that on lock. The only thing is that I think there's a small percentage where Furia can surprise us and surprise G2. I still think G2 is going to win, but I think it's more towards 70-30.
Yeah. Fury are good.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Guys,
The
they
play-
face
the
crew
players are
sub
decent.
roster and struggling John KD, bro. Like, who was, you know, it's. I mean, it's
Nah,
not
I
that
do-
serious, but I think there's a
I think the
huge
Sen
tier
win
gap.
was kind of a big statement win, to be honest. I don't think Sen
Yeah.
is as bad as you're making.
I
them
know,
out
but
to
I
be.
mean, they were playing pretty crazily down, like past where Sen should be as a team in theory based off the offseason. But regardless of those semantics, man, you know what? What's the next one? Run the next round.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was waiting patiently. This is our last match. It's crew.
Oh.
I screwed up the template, so the next one's gonna be screwed up too. I think, but that's
Okay.
fine. It's Loud versus EG. For some reason, Bliggy, give us your take on
My take on
EG's
EG.
win here.
I mean, I think these are the two worst team in Americas right now. But I will say that I don't think I can feel confident about Loud's attack with what I watch with their initiator. I think EG makes more sense. They always mess up one half on their defense, which was Abyss this time. Like they have a veto, they have a Yoru, and then they're just playing retake all the time, even though they can always have a strong site to fight on one of the sites. Doesn't really make much sense. They don't use the veto super well. It actually, when I looked at it, it's going to be me flaming EG for a little bit. When I look at EG, it looks like they have setups where they just go Sentinel goes here, Duelist goes here, and they don't change it up for like what Senti or what Duelist they're using. It's a little bit worrying. Like for the maps, they just use the same theory, just multiplied, and they don't change it up when you have a Yoru or a veto in this case. But I think it's only 1/2 of every like best of 3 that they look bad. And I think that when I watch Loud, it's pretty much every attack apart from Breeze that looks bad. So it's just they're the lesser, they're not as shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I can
Toilet
agree,
bowl and they're less shit. Perfect.
but hear me out here, right? I'm gonna take these off and get my actual thinking glasses on. You feel me? Okay, so if you look and remember, I have some crazy analogies regarding Pokemon. Trick Room. Are you guys familiar with Trick Room as a move? So there's speed in Pokemon that kind of dictates who gets to go first. EG are a Trick Room team. What the move does is it flips everyone's speed values. So the slow people end up going first and perform kind of better. They get prio. It's a team that loves to slow things down, which is why sometimes on those halves that he's talking about, they end up failing. Because why are you using Trick Room in this moment? Like, you're going to get bursted down. You might have wanted to use Protect. You should have used an attack overall. If you Trick Room Luxio, he becomes God. He becomes one of the best players of all time. If you give this guy time and a read on your team, dude, I think Loud versus EG is just a matchup for Loud that is ready to go. Like, these guys have the speed tier to just take these guys down. Like, when you saw on that Abyss map in the very first time they played, teams that were kind of slowly moving up to them and trying to get them down when they were actually anchored on a site, Luxio and Darker were popping off. Like, it'll happen. And DG's in will be saving an op for 6 rounds, and we're going to be here saying, wow, that was a game. Yeah.
That was a game. No, I think for me it was like, first of all, I hate your like the way you relate things because it just pisses me off and I don't know why. But I agree with you. I really agree with you. It sucks.
All right, we'll
that
bring
we're
you
on
back
the
next
same-
week, chat. We'll bring you back next week.
He does not
It
want to be on the
sucks.
team, bro.
It sucks that we're on the same page because I agree with you. I for this one, it really was 50-50. I think the glaring issues for Loud are more strategy based. The fragging power is there. The timings are really shit and off. I think structurally they have a lot of work to do, but they showed us a pretty good glimpse of it on Breeze. And I think those few things can be fixed within a week. And when you have the fragging power on top of that versus a team like EG, who's just, like you said, Sliggy, they're so static, they're so stale. A lot of their things just like don't change. They don't really adapt as much. And it's weird because when you have Calm and Potter, you'd expect them to be super creative and really, really like interesting, but they're running the solo Yoru comps a lot, which I don't like. They don't have that much space making, and they don't have that much crazy fragging power outside of DG's and Oki. I think Bao has been doing a pretty good job too, but like you said, it's just so stale.
You're
So I
missing
feel
one. Like if Calm's flanking, he's like the best player in the whole world.
He's always flanking.
you're going against Luxio, who's flanking you. Like,
That's what I'm
there's
saying,
no
but
way.
That's the whole point. That's
Yeah,
the whole
that's
point. The
what-
same speeds here. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
exactly. No, I just feel like arguing with you, even though we're on the same page. I don't know what it is. But
All right,
but,
so
yeah.
most of us think the Digizen revenge game is not gonna pan out. Let's go to the next one. I think we fixed the graphic. Crew versus Lev, LatM versus LatM. We're
Oh, wow.
split. Shyo and myself going Crew. Athena and Sliggy going Leviathan. Shyo, why do you agree with me?
infiltrator bias, I guess. I feel like he can take over a map a little bit versus his left team. I also feel like, is this the Lev that's coming back with Neon? Is that what it is? Because it's the 31st.
Yeah.
I have this like, it's like the only, this would be an upset, first of all. I don't think Crew are supposed to win this game. Like, Lev should be winning this 70-30, whatever percentage you want to give it. But maybe Neon comes through and like the structure does not look good and there's trouble in execution. Crew have only been losing, which is good. We've seen that in the past in some certain stages, right? not going to say it directly, but you learn a lot through these losses. And they've had some pretty interesting losses versus like a team like NV that really got them scrappy, right? That left one of their anchors completely stranded half the time on the other side of the map. Like, they can fix some of those rotations. They can fix the team play against scrappiness, against really fast play. And that's what Neon is bringing over to LEVIATAN. Like, apparently this team is supposed to god tier up. They're supposed to have 2 people that just end up taking over in the entire round, ending the round in 30 seconds. That kind of sounds like what NV like to do. And I know their experience before that was kind of Furia, and they got a little bit more slow played and strategically set up around the map. Lev also lead with that with King. So they've learned a lot through their losses. I feel like they're ready to use all that review to be the best version of themselves. And Lev is coming in with a new version of themselves that might not learn much from review. New roles again, even though they're the proper ones. There might be some stumbles. I'm calling an upset. That's what it is.
All right, now I need to hear what Athena has to say. Why do you disagree? Why do you disagree with everything you just said?
Okay. I don't want to, for this one, you're kind of valid. Sorry to switch it up. I know you wanted me to throw fists, but it's Jover. I think for this game, genuinely, this one was also 50-50 for me, because I think for Lev, I'm looking for them to fix a lot of their issues. I think Neon is coming in next week, right? And I think that in itself should fix a lot of their timing issues. It should fix a lot of their confidence issues. I think we should see a lot more explosive Lev than we have before. Whereas with KRU, dude, I don't know. Like, they do okay. They're okay. I don't think they're bad. I think they're okay. But I just have such higher expectations for Lev that for me, if all the glaring issues are coming from having a sub, then it should be fixed by next week. If not, I still think they should have a lot higher of a capability to fix these issues, and going into it kind of counter a lot of what KRU has done.
Yeah, switch my pred if you can. I forgot Neon was coming back. That kind of sways me pretty heavily. You said they've been like doing 50-50 practice.
Whoa, you can do that? What the hell?
Yeah. New tech here on Plat.
New tech.
I keep thinking it's 2025, but yeah, it's 2026 here. Yeah, I don't believe in the lower bracket run at all, but I do think they're going to win this game. I don't think it's even 50-50. I think it's like 70-30.
I'm telling you, they're good for like 3 wins. Huh?
I'm sad.
3.
I don't know. I don't know about 3.
3 wins.
I don't know about 3.
Okay, I guess of the 4 lower round 1 teams, I would pick Lev to go the farthest.
Look at the time difference they get if they win this game. They get a lot of time.
Yeah, what if they like don't use it well?
Hey, it's Honor, bro. He has them working like 10, 12-hour days.
That's true. They're sleeping, they're eating, they're gaming, everything. Their phone.
Is there
time.
any chance that KRU's real roster, or sorry, their main roster comes back next week?
Holy!
I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen, but I don't know if there's any conversation or confirmation if it's going to happen. But I don't think I think Lev still beats the main roster. I think it just bumps it up to maybe like.
I didn't want to guarantee it just in case, you know, like maybe we lose out on the guarantee. Safety numbers.
All right, we're done.
Okay.
Get him off the screen.
Let's go to.
We have one last segment of the.
I thought you were skipping that.
Do you want to talk? Yeah, we're gonna do Wyatt's Weekly Award, the most important segment of the week. It's Wyatt's Weekly Award.
Wow.
It's Wyatt's Weekly Award, and he couldn't be here this week, but we've got me to present the award this week, and I hope that I'm a good.
So stupid. Cinema.
I think
that's the deleted scene from the Odyssey, right? Airing later this year. It's crazy.
Yeah. This week's weekly award is going to go to Oxy and Demon One. We'll give it to both of them. Oxy's definitely going through some stuff, and Demon One's doing a great job helping him through it and supporting him, while also helping Cloud9 winning some games, some important matches. We hope to see Oxy soon, and maybe we can see more of Demon One as well. I'm not really sure if there's much else to say regarding that, but definitely thoughts are with Oxy and his family for sure.
There was a GoFundMe as well to cover like the funeral costs. I think people were doing. I know Alexis was doing like a charity stream as well for that. So shout out to her and everyone that donated.
All right. And with that, we finally end episode 250. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. Thanks for having me.